Yeah.
What up? What up?
What up, G Money? All right.
Oh, chilling, chilling.
Come on, people, get on here. All right, we got somebody already. Beautiful.
All right.
It's movie night again for the one person in there.
It is, and it's a good movie night. We are diving into Star Wars. Pretty excited.
Yes. When I posted it, we're doing this tonight. I also posted that we have two more in the series coming up.
Yes.
They will not be back to back to back because there's other movies like stuff we're doing in October. But Andrew and I will be back with you for the prequels then, and then for the newer movies 7, 8, 9, Solo, and Rogue One. One of my favorite Star Wars movies ever. Rogue One.
Rogue One is a really good one.
So good. So good. So Andrew, before everybody gets in here, we got two people. What's going on?
Oh, not much. It's been a stressful week, man.
That's not good. Look, Morgan. Thanks, Morgan. I knew that already though. Oh, your cool background. Man, I'm on the ocean on the oceanic planet on Rogue One.
Let's see. My background doesn't seem to like the camera today. Okay. Let me know if you have any issues because it keeps. I'm watching the stream on my phone and it keeps like cutting the background out.
I see your background perfectly. It hasn't faded out at all.
Awesome. Yeah, I wanted to go with a Star Wars space theme since it is Star Wars night.
It looks good. Morgan, not here for Star Wars. That's right. You didn't like the movies. That's right. I remember.
And that's okay. Not everybody's going to like everything. And that's why we do this. We discuss what we like and what we don't like. And we hope to get the comment roll in with what people enjoy and don't enjoy about the Star Wars franchise. And I think it's going to be a good night.
I think we'll be too. It's going to be great. I'm getting some people now. It's cool.
See Lalo lurking.
When I suddenly I go silent uncomfortably.
Well, I recently watched 4, 5, and 6 as I was working today because I felt like I needed a fresh reminder of what happened in each one. It's been a while since I've seen 4, 5, and 6. But definitely probably my favorite
of
the franchise are 4, 5, and 6. Like the originals, you just can't beat them. I mean, you can, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like they're the originals for a reason.
True. Lalo said hi.
Hi, Lalo.
Can you see what I'm putting up there?
Yeah. King Uno. We're not watching tonight, but we are discussing the original Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, the original 3. First one started in 1978.
Yes. So I guess the first question to start off tonight for all of our viewers, Jedi or Sith, which side would you be on?
Sith, sorry.
I probably would go Sith as well. If we're being honest, I mean, I am a Slytherin, and
you're Slytherin. That's
just
awesome
go
too.
Sith, you know. I mean, I like the Jedi, but I think it would be a little bit more fun to be a part of the Sith and be on the
you'd
dark
be the
side.
Sith Lord.
I would.
Darth Andrea.
Yes.
That's funny.
What color lightsaber would you want?
Oh, I love Mace Windu. It's purple.
Yeah, same. Purple
love
or
that.
even the yellow one. I know yellow's not like too big in the Star Wars franchise, but the yellow one is really cool.
Yeah. The one was blue, right? The one Luke had. Right?
Yeah. Blue, and then I think he switches over to green.
Yeah, I think you're pretty. Yeah. I know he had a green one in Return of the Jedi, so yeah, you're right. Definitely. Anybody else want to comment in there? No? Rebels?
If Lalo doesn't say Sith, I might be a little sad.
Lalo, come to the dark side.
We have cookies.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about it. It's just so funny.
We're here to have fun.
Yeah, we have cookies and we have force chokes. So, which I heard the Jedi do have that, but they prefer not to use that move.
Okay.
I read that and I was just like, really? So that's how the Jedi order is. You can't use spells that are spells. Listen to me. I'm on Harry Potter again. Can't use the more aggressive Jedi moves. I mean, without going to the dark side. What? It's like that. I don't want to talk about the new ones right now. I'm going to go off on a tangent about one of the new movies. So
I mean, and if we do, it's okay because especially where some of the movies are intertwined, like number 4, for instance, you can say number 7 was a premise of 4.
I agree with you 100% of that.
Like you like I've heard that. I mean, it's been a hot minute since I've seen any of the Star Wars. I mean, I did just watch 4, 5, and 6, but I think it's appropriate. Right. I think it's appropriate if we highlight a little bit of the other movies. I mean, it is a really big topic, really big movie franchise, but I think our main focus should be 4, 5, and 6. Lala, that's okay. I still love you, but
John's with you. Lala, John is the same way.
So Jedi, Lalo are like the good guys, and then the Sith are more of the bad guys, the dark side.
Yes.
So I think you would be on Team Sith. Morgan, I love you, and I think you'd be a Jedi who wants to be a Sith.
Oh, she's a Sith. She is definitely a Sith. Morgan, you're a Sith.
She can be Sith ruler with me. We'll be co-rulers.
I changed my name. Okay.
There you go.
That's
I didn't know what.
Nobody's my nickname. That's my nickname. Because of the stomach. Yeah, the Force. That's best, Andrea, because you are the encompassing Force. Nothing happens without you. You have all the midichlorians, which is another dumb thing. But yeah, okay.
So, and this is going to show like the dork geek side of me. When I think of Star Wars, the first thing that it reminds me of is high school band. We would always do yearly like these Pops concerts where we highlighted famous movie songs. And one year we did Star Wars, and I played trumpet at the time, and I had the trumpet solo that you hear in the Star Wars theme, and it was just nostalgic because I grew up on Star Wars, and just being able to play that song on the trumpet. So like the soundtrack is so near and dear to my heart.
That's how I've seen bands do that play that, and it's incredible.
It is, and it's amazing. Like, I mean, we were just a high school band, so we probably weren't like the most incredible group to play it, but it just is one that I'll never forget. I'll never forget being there, playing in front of a crowd, playing the Star Wars theme song.
It's awesome. I didn't really see it. I was seeing my friends who were in the band. I don't know if they played it in high school. I saw it in college, but not.
Okay.
And I've seen it in videos. Sorry, my sister's band. My sister's played it. My sister played it at the Battle of That Bands competition up in Music. I don't know if you ever took part in that marching band. Yeah, they used to play it as part of their routine. So that's where I really heard it first.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did marching band. I loved marching band.
So did my sister. She was obsessed.
We were just a smaller school, so we didn't really like do any of the competitions and stuff, but we would do like parades and all that like around the state.
You didn't miss anything because the same band won every year because they use accordions. Accordion.
Yeah.
They use bagpipes in their thing, and they win every time. It was every time. I got so annoyed with it.
Yeah, it was fun. We got invited to like the Rose Bowl, the college football Rose Bowl, but we couldn't go because we were a small school and we didn't have the funds to send everybody.
Yeah.
But enough about band. Enough about band.
Enough about band.
I mean, like
Andrea,
the music of Star Wars is just incredible, and I feel like we can talk about the soundtrack all night long if we have the time. But I really want to start diving in because I feel like it's going to be a long discussion, you know, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on each different movie, favorite characters, least favorite characters. Like, I'm just, you know, like, it's nice that we get to geek out a little bit.
Sorry, Andrew, I keep cutting you off.
No, you're fine. I don't mind one
bit.
bit.
John's thing's up here.
Hi, John.
And then we got Matthew. Hi. Get you him high. As in marijuana?
Also, hi, Matthew.
I'm confused. I didn't know if that is just a misprint or whatever. That could be true. Yeah.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Pulling up. I took some notes, but not a lot.
That's all right. We should move in, I guess, to the first movie.
All right. So episode 4, A New Hope. 1977, as you said. And I gotta say, for a film in the 70s, the CGI and the graphics are actually revolutionary.
Yes, they were at the time. Yes, that was state of the art.
I mean, imagine if they were to remake them or even like remastered the movies in a way to today's technology.
All right, Matt, I will look it up. I will look that up and find out what's about. You know, Star Wars would never have even gotten made if George Lucas didn't direct that film that he was chosen for. Wasn't that how it went?
I think so.
I mean, supplying you can have your little space opera thing, whatever, and then it turned into a global phenomenon.
Yeah, I actually remember reading something about that where they weren't too thrilled about it, and then they're like, fine, just do it, and then all of a sudden it blew up bigger than anybody ever imagined it would.
It blew up way more than the movie they wanted him for.
Yeah.
Big time. I thought, be honest with you, embarrassing story. I thought in the original poster it was a romantic movie because Leia's like Luke's got the saber up, she had his feet, and my aunt's like, no, it's not. Michael loved it. So.
Oh, okay, I can see
that's dorky me.
Yeah, and to go off of how well the movie did, George Lucas was so unsure of this film that he went on vacation to Hawaii instead of attending the film premiere.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, he skipped the film premiere to go to Hawaii with Steven Spielberg, which makes it even more funny. Like, you've got these two great film directors, and George Lucas is like, I'm not really feeling it. I'm going to go to Hawaii.
I never knew that, Andrew. That's something I never knew. Wow.
Yeah, I like to look at some trivia here and there, like on the movies we cover, because I think it just adds to the fun of the discussion. Like, a little bit of, hey, did you know?
I would rather fight
clones.
I'm going.
I think clones would be easier to fight, to be perfectly honest.
Yes. The only droid I wouldn't fight is those droideka things from the first prequel. Those things, you can't. They have a shield and everything. Remember those droidekas that came flying down? In the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
They couldn't kill them. They had to go real fast, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only droid I'd be afraid of.
Another bit of trivia here. Darth Vader. Love Darth Vader.
Love him.
Did you know the two actors who played Vader, the voice actor and the body actor, never met?
Wait, he never
met each other.
The Australian guy never met James Earl Jones?
Yep, they never met. which I thought was interesting because they're retrospectively playing the same part. I mean, one having no voice, and then the other having the voice but no body, and yet they never met.
I never knew that. Have you ever watched the footage where they're not using James Earl Jones?
Uh-uh.
You gotta
I'm
find
gonna
it.
I'm
You
gonna have
gotta
to look
find
that
it.
up. I'm gonna have
Because
to look
there he is
that
in the
up.
dark. Yeah, he's in the costume, right? And they're doing the scene where he grabs his guy by the throat, or grabs
Uh,
the leader of the driver of the ship, or the captain of that. God, why can't I think of his name? But it was in the beginning, and when he goes, I'm on a diplomatic mission, and he chokes him out. You know that one? Remember
uh-huh.
in the beginning, right? Okay, so you see that footage, of course, without the sound and in an Australian voice. It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. So funny.
Oh, that sounds great.
So funny. How do you
All
not
right,
have special
so
editions of stuff?
I honestly don't even know if I own. Um, I might have the box set. I might, but I don't remember if I actually ever got them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, my husband likes Star Wars, but he's not like big into Star Wars. I mean, my family, we're big into Star Wars. My grandpa has one bedroom in his house just dedicated to Star Wars. Star Wars, like he's got original action figures, like the original action figures, all sealed, and every year it's a battle to find him something for Christmas that he doesn't have because he's got every piece of Star Wars merch out there. Wait, I lied. The only Star Wars I've seen was when Family Guy did the episodes. They did do a lot of Star Wars crossovers. Family Guy being one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, what was it called? Blue Moon or Blue
I can't
something?
remember. I don't think I've ever seen the Family Guy ones, but I do know Family Guy did quite a few. And then there were other cartoons that did a few. I think I could be lying, but I want to say maybe Simpsons did one,
I don't know
or
this.
they rather did like, I don't know if they did a whole episode.
I'm looking it up right now.
I was like, I don't remember.
Okay, the first one was called Blue Harvest.
Blue Harvest.
And where's the next one? Really?
Do you think Jar Jar is a Sith?
Duh. Laugh It Up, Fuzzball, the Family Guy trilogy. That's funny. It was
Uh,
Blue. It was Blue Harvest and something 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 Dark Side, and then It's a Trap was the last one. So those are the Family Guy ones.
so Matthew, to answer your question, I don't think Jar Jar was a Sith. I like Jar Jar.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard that argument. I have seen that argument, but I don't agree with it. I don't think he's a Sith.
Hey, Curtis.
Curtis in the hizzy. So sorry, Matt. I just don't. I've heard the theory, but yeah.
I agree there. I don't see that. I mean, I know we're not covering episode 2, or was it 1? I can't remember what episode.
One.
Episode 1.
Where that's 1.
But Jar Jar is one of my more favorites. I know a lot of people don't like Jar Jar, but I thought he added the comedic necessity for Star Wars.
What's funny, you said what you said earlier. My wife's not into Star Wars, but she has seen none of the new ones and none of the prequel. She saw the first prequel and she's watched the originals, but that's it.
We've seen them all. My husband was not a fan of the very last new one.
I thought the
Last Jedi or whatever.
Is that 8th what it was ridiculous. Called? Yeah, duh. The last one was called. Wait, is it the Last Jedi? No, wait. It goes The Force Awakens. Then it goes The Last Jedi. I thought was the second one.
Oh, what isn't it something to do with Skywalker? Let me Google.
Oh yeah, The Last of Sky, or something like that. Yeah, you're right. It is something like that. I hear kids. However kid that is, they sound cute. Oh, is that yours,
Sorry,
Andrew?
that was
No,
Maple.
cute. Sounding cute. Maple sounding cute there.
Okay, so it's The Force Awakens, The Rise of Skywalker, and then The Last Jedi.
That's it. You were right, Andrew. It was the last one. It's
But
just
anyway.
the second one. The second one was just a travesty, and all those storylines they set up in that one never, like, they forgot about them all, and then they made 9. I was like, come on. That's
Yeah.
But that's more for when we talk about, I guess, the earlier one. Sorry, guys.
When we get into those ones, and I'm hoping we can do Star Wars at least once a month. That way we're not like overdoing Star Wars.
Yes, I agree. Andrew and I have talked briefly, but Andrew comes up with the actual solution.
Yeah, and I try not to. I mean, like, I know you guys keep saying that this is my show, but collectively it's our show. We all do our part into making Friday Night Movie Night
She means
the success that it is.
She means we, as in me and her.
Yeah, John's not here, but John, we do love you, and we do appreciate all the back scene stuff that you do. We couldn't do the show without you, John. No. Please know that.
Sam has been just instrumental in making Trivia Tuesday a success.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
And as always, I put this up every video. Master Chief's still here. Okay. Sorry, Andrew. I was going to bring out my Star Wars stuff and get it all around me and stuff like that, but of course, I had a bad night, so things kind of got wrecked.
Next month will be better.
Next month.
All right, so let's dive into Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope.
John,
no, I did just give you like a really big shout out, dude.
She did. She gave a big shout out to you and Sam. You're both useless, but she gave you a shout out. I gotta stop. I'm stopping. Sorry, guys, about Star Wars, not me being a jerk.
All right, so A New Hope, the very first Star Wars.
Yes.
It's just
to let you guys know.
Euphoria.
Sorry,
you know.
Sorry, dear.
No, go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say was didn't have multiple screens back then. Couldn't buy tickets in advance. It was a whole new world standing in line.
I mean, I wasn't born, so I mean, I could just fathom, you know, it's like
you're 25, so it makes it,
I wish. No, I'll be 31 this year.
Whoa, that's not bad at all.
I'm an oldie.
Yeah, not 52 here, guys. Ancient right here.
So what I liked about this one, and I love that Star Wars is known for the booming music. You got the rockin' soundtrack, and then you've got the scrolling text. I always love those. I remember as a kid when I couldn't read, we'd go to the movies to see Star Wars, and my dad would just sit and read the text as it came across the screen.
Did you ever watch the parody Spaceballs? They do the same thing.
Oh, I love Spaceballs. I was actually just talking about that last night, and my husband goes, I don't like Spaceballs. But that one, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I know it's like ridiculous and it's corny, but it's fantastic. You know,
Lala, you're young, Lala. You're young, Lala.
May the Schwartz be with you. Yes, Matthew. Yes.
There it is. Good job, Matt.
All right, so
yeah, I didn't mean to talk about lines, guys, but it's just like we didn't have thermal printers, so the tickets used to come out bang, bang, bang. Like that sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom took us when we went to Return of the Jedi, the line went around the building 1.5 times. So it was crazy. Crazy. Go ahead, Andrea. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off.
Oh, you're fine. I was just going to say, who in A New Hope was your favorite character?
New Hope. Darth Vader. I'm sorry. I like Darth. I like the evil side from day one, unfortunately.
From the minute we meet him, it's just, you get the chills, you know, because he's in one of the first scenes in the movie. You just have Darth Vader and he goes, you need to find them. And it's just like, oh, chills, you know. And one of my notes that I put was, I don't know if you ever noticed, but when Darth Vader breathes, it sounds like he's saying, Homer, Homer. And that's all I hear when he breathes. And I'm like, oh.
That's too funny.
like it's just stupid. But like that's just something that I've always thought funny. Like I know he's just breathing and like they're trying to make it sound dramatic, but I just can't stop hearing Homer.
I gotta go back. I should say this. At 7 years old, I like the dark side a lot, but I may have liked Luke at first, and then as I got a little bit older, I like Darth Vader. I should be because 7. I found him scarier at 7 years old.
When we get into Return of the Jedi, I'll tell you what I loved about Luke. I mean, you probably already know I am a girl, but Luke Skywalker, man, in Return of the Jedi, something about the dark clothes, man, the all black.
Yes, he looked good when he went over to Jabba's palace. He looked phenomenal. Yes, I agree with you.
So A New Hope, I think my favorite character in that, I like C-3PO. Like, I really liked his droid. I liked the comedic sense that he brought to the film. He was just like, he's just the guy that you can't find anything wrong with. And yeah, he might be annoying to some people. And if you guys think C-3PO is annoying, by all means, I'm not going to be upset. Like I can see why some people can see that, but I loved C-3PO.
Well, think about this. All right, if it hasn't been for R2-D2, Jar Jar Binks, and C-3PO, everybody would have died at some point in the original 3 movies.
Yes.
It's like if R2-D2 doesn't do all that work, it's like man, it's crazy.
So A New Hope, it opens up. You've got Leia. She's snuck aboard. What if you found out that you could? That is a very valid question, Matthew. A very valid question.
They addressed that in the Star Wars ones that Jamie Kennedy made. Is it Jamie Kennedy? No. He does the stop motion with the clay. You ever seen those?
Yeah,
Star Wars
the claymation.
That he does. Yeah, they addressed that in there about they show a bedroom scene and he's like, well, that was awkward. Yeah, I don't know how I get around that. I'd have to. If it didn't become intimate, okay.
Yeah.
And you never.
I mean, like back then. I mean, I don't know what year Star Wars is supposed to be based around. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like more futuristic, but.
No, those questions honestly didn't come up when I was growing up. I didn't even think twice that it was a sister and then it wasn't. I didn't read into it like I would today.
Yeah, because like back then you're just like, oh, they're brother, sister, they kissed. But now it's like, ew, they actually, ew, gosh, no.
Awesome.
So anyway, the beginning of the movie, Leia, C-3PO, and R2-D2, they're on the ship. They've somehow managed to get the plans for the Death Star. And C-3PO and R2-D2 managed to escape in an escape pod. And they don't find the plans on the ship. And then the commander alerts Vader that the escape pod was launched, but there was no, and he says a quote, there were no humans aboard or something like that, which
that's why they don't shoot it.
Is why they don't go after it. Because they're like, well, they probably just have the plans aboard and no person because they didn't want it to be traced.
I watched Star Wars just like it does, right? But instead they shoot the pod and then it goes right to end credits. Bam! The pod's gone. End credits.
End of movie. It's like I don't know if you've seen, and to just go off a tangent here, but there's this meme for Harry Potter when Hermione's fixing Ron or Harry's glasses on the train, and she's holding up her wand, and instead of a Oculus Reparo, she says Avada Kedavra, and then it's got the end credits, and I'm like, shortest movie ever. That's what yours just reminded me of.
That is so funny.
I'll have to send it to you. You'll laugh. It's great. So anyway, the droids managed to safely crash land. And forgive me because I
Tatooine.
just watched this. I was gonna say I forgot where they landed. I couldn't remember if it was Tatooine, and then I'm like, I don't want to say that and then be wrong.
Always
And
Tatooine. Right.
please, Star Wars fans, if I get any facts wrong, I apologize. I'm really tired. It's been a rough work week.
No, she's
But
not sorry. The facts that she says are the facts. So
just
no correcting.
everybody else is wrong. You know that if I say it happened, and the movie's obviously wrong. IMDb obviously wrong.
Well, no, Andrew's got it going pretty good. I mean, there was that spoof in the beginning. Remember, you ever see that one where the stormtrooper hits his head?
Yes, that's
Awesome.
great. Now I also love that no matter how many times the stormtroopers shoot, they always miss. Do you think it's because they can't?
Yes.
Do you think it's because they can't see in those helmets?
That might be it. I swear they have no accuracy.
I feel like that's got to be it. Like their helmets are white and then the eyes are black. I'm almost wondering if it's like pitch black and they just can't see. Because how can you have that bad of an aim that you don't hit anything?
I know. Later in life, when I rewatched 4, I watched A New Hope when it wasn't named A New Hope. I love it when he goes, these aren't salmon. These are precision blasts from Imperial troops. I'm like, precision blast kills me. They're so not precision. What's going on there? What is going on?
Like, make bad bartenders they can't make sure.
Who just said
that? Matthew.
Is that Morgan? Matt. I'll put that up for you, Matt. Hold on. Can you put those up too, Andrea, from the chat?
No, but that's okay.
John said you could. And I was like, oh, well, I'll put them up. Guys, don't worry, I'll put them up. I know a lot of you guys are popping in and out, which is cool. Loving it. Everybody's popping in. We're on Tatooine now.
So we're on Tatooine.
And the creature, the skeleton guys, Crate Dragon. Okay, sorry.
No,
I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm throwing all this.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna forget the sequence here.
It's just the bones with it sitting there.
So they land and then they walk, and then they don't meet Obi-Wan yet.
No, they Jabba.
I'm trying to remember.
The Jawas.
Yeah,
they signal the Jawas thinking they're going to get help, and they
take them, and then they're found on Luke's uncle's farm or somewhere nearby.
No, yeah.
And it's funny because they originally bought the red droid and C-3PO, and they only bought C-3PO because he can speak multiple languages and he knows how.
Yeah, he could speak the binary language of the
bossy. Something like that. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, can you speak Bocce? Yeah,
Bocce.
That's right. And then it was something he can also. It was about the watered things, or
he could do. He said he could do something similar to what Luke's uncle needed, and he said close enough.
And then he said Bocce.
And then he said, "Can you speak Bocce?" And he goes, "Of course I can. It's like a second language to me." And then
perfect. That's exactly the line.
They try to get the red droid to go, and then C-3PO is like, hey, wait, this droid's defective, and managed to get
C-3PO. C-3PO goes, what about that blue unit? I've worked with him before.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry, Andrew. I don't mean to...
No, you're fine. And C-3PO, he even says, like, you're not going to regret your choice. I've worked with him before. He's a good droid. And I think he even mentioned, like, you guys will get along. And so they go home with Luke, and the first thing is C-3PO is so excited because he gets to take a bath, and here I'm thinking, like, why does a droid want to get in a bath? Like, wouldn't that make his parts go bad, I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Does he call it an oil bath? I forget if he just calls it a bath or an oil bath.
Maybe. I don't remember what he calls it something, and then he goes, I just can't wait to get all this dirt and sand out of me. And I'm thinking, well, you're on a sand planet, so plenty more where that came from, bud.
Yeah, Star Wars, the famous movies to have only one topical thing on every planet.
And
You know what I
then
mean? Like, it's all water,
yeah.
it's all desert. I mean, never mind.
Yeah, and then Luke's in charge of getting them clean, and as he's cleaning R2, he notices all the dents and scratches, and he mentions like, "Oh, you guys have seen some work." And C-3PO mentions being a part of the Alliance, and that perks Luke up, and he goes, "You know about the Rebel Alliance?" And it makes me wonder, like, well, how does Luke know about that?
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably heard it like talked about around town or whatever. Tatooine's a very big planet, as we've seen, and
Just desert, everybody. Just desert. Okay, sorry.
You're good. And it just piques his interest, and Luke's all excited about it. And they find out that R2D2's got a message inside of him, but they can't get the full message to play.
Right.
And Leia mentions Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Luke
Please,
goes,
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
He goes, I wonder if they mean old Ben.
Yes, he goes that. Yeah, he's like, play the rest of the message, and he goes, no. He's like, play the rest of it, and then C-3PO hits him, and then he says, maybe if you remove his restraining bolt, he'll play the whole thing, and he removes the restraining bolt, and then R2D2 plays dumb. What message? Remember, and C-3PO hits him. Bam!
Yeah.
The message you were just playing. Sorry. Andrew.
Nope, you're fine. And then Luke sits down for dinner, and then he asks if he can leave Tatooine.
Blue milk.
And he wants to go to, I want to say he wants to go to Alderaan. I could be wrong. I know that he ends up going to Alderaan.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. All right, Matt, another thing I did not know.
I could see that. I mean, I wondered why they always filmed him from the waist up. I mean, you do see C-3PO's legs here and there, but it's always when he's on, like, camera, it's usually waist up.
Yes. Good point, Matt. So I didn't.
Yeah, so Luke wants to go, and again, I'm sorry if it's wrong, but he wants to go to Alderaan. He wants to do, I'm assuming he wants to do Jedi training. I for some reason cannot remember what him and his aunt and uncle were talking about, and his uncle is very against it, doesn't want him to leave the farm.
Wants him to stay one more season.
Yeah, and Luke doesn't want to. He wants to get out and get there in time for the training, and his aunt's all for it. We don't want to keep Luke here forever. He's eventually going to leave. Might as well let him leave now.
He says, can you go out and do something? He's like, well, I was going to go to the Hachi station tonight.
Yeah.
Never says that line, yeah. Blue milk.
Yeah.
I keep saying that, Andrew, because I just thought the blue milk was weird in the movie. We're like, what is that substance?
Right. Like, do you think it came from a creature? Or do you think like blue milk is just like their regular like water or milk intake or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know if milk's canon. It might be, the blue milk might be canon. A lot of people made fun of it over the years, but I think they even serve it now at the Star Wars thing at Disney World. They sell some kind of blue milk substance. But yeah, I think I just was at 7 years old. I was just, why is milk blue? You know,
yeah, it's like as a kid, you pick up a little bit more on those little details, like those silly details, and you're like, the milk's blue. Where now you probably don't even like actively look for it, so you probably don't even notice it anymore. I mean, I didn't until you said something, and I was like, oh yeah, the milk was blue.
Sorry.
Oh no, don't be sorry. I'm glad. Like I
sorry.
said, the one thing I was looking forward to with this night was you're really into Star Wars, so I knew we would get off a little bit from the movie track and just go off like, oh, did you know this? You know, like I like that. It adds more creativity to this, and it adds more
Matt.
Yeah. See that?
Cows. I never even thought of that. That's awesome.
That's what I was asking, Matthew. Like, is it from a creature, or is it just like, you know, blue milk could be like their water? You know, like it doesn't come from really anything. It's just there.
That's true. It could just be that's how the native, it could easily be what you said, Andrew. And then that's when
Okay.
Luke, no. Then Luke, I think, what does he do? He goes outside and he looks to the horizon, I think. And then he goes in to check on the droids. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah. And then
he's all depressed at first. What is this? Get off the school. Oh my God.
And then they go, I don't remember where they go, but I know out here they go and they eventually find Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The Jawas take
This is where I can't remember because I was working, so I'm sorry, my remembrance is a little bit fuzzy.
No, the Jawas end up using that stun rifle on him and start to like almost part him out, and that's when that belching scream comes, and we find out that it was that was what Obi-Wan did to scare away the Sand People and the Jawas. If I have that correct. I'm waiting for if I had is correct.
We'll just assume it is. I mean, I was gonna look up like the movie plot to be honest, you know what? So like I don't forget. But then I didn't want to look like, oh, I know everything because I clearly don't.
I'm trying to remember that scene because I don't now. More I think about it, maybe it was just the Sand People there. Because he scares the Sand People away. I don't think that there's a Jawa there. I don't think. I don't know. I'm trying to remember that scene in the valley, that valley of rocks. I'm just looking it up.
Yeah, it was so. The R2-D2 was missing, and then they're attacked by the Sand People.
There you go. See, I'm sorry with the Jawa guys. I was off there.
I mean, Jawas are at the beginning with R2 and C-3PO. But yeah, so the Sand People, they call them the Sand People. They're the people who have that weird screech thing. Or is it a laugh? I'm not even sure anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
And this is when we meet Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he comes and saves the day like the hero that he is.
Yes, awesome.
And he is one of my other favorites besides C-3PO. I really liked Obi-Wan Kenobi in this one.
He's great. Yeah. Matt's leaving.
Bye.
Sorry I have to go, Matt. You were adding a lot of insight, Matt. We'll miss you. Oh, yes, Matt. May the force be with you as well.
Live long and prosper.
Star Trek.
So we meet Obi-Wan Kenobi. He rescues Luke, and then they get to sit down and have a chat. And Obi-Wan lies and says that Darth Vader was killed, or his dad was killed by Darth Vader. We learned that Obi-Wan was a Jedi Knight, and again that piques Luke's interest because he wants to be a Jedi. They talk about the Clone Wars, again, really good Star Wars.
And then he shows him his dad's weapon, right?
And then he shows his dad's weapon.
The lightsaber.
The signature weapon of the Jedi Knights.
Yeah, I think he says, he goes, blasters. He talks, no, that's where he talks about it. Never mind.
And then
he says it's more elegant than a blaster. I forget what he says about that. Anyways, you're right. He did say it's
I think you're right. Like, it's a bit more, yeah.
No, but you are right when he does say, this is the weapon of the Jedi Knight. So he does say that line, I believe.
So they find R2-D2, and Obi-Wan is able to get Leia's full message out.
That's right.
Obi-Wan, says, you're my only hope.
But I think, doesn't Luke say to him, he's like, oh, never mind. Go on, Andrea. I forgot that scene.
I was like, it'll come to you.
That's right. Luke says, I think this droid belongs to you. And Obi-Wan goes, I don't remember owning a droid.
Yeah, and then yeah, because they didn't know at the time that it was a cry for help. Luke assumed that this droid's just looking for its owner.
Yep.
So they play the full message. Leia wants Obi-Wan to take the Death Star plans to her.
You helped my father during the Clone Wars.
Yes, and then she wants her Obi-Wan to essentially give the plans to her father.
Yep. On Ultron.
Luke
then,
is given the choice to go with Obi-Wan or not go, and he initially says no, he wants to stay, and then you're brought into the dramatic scene of his aunt and uncle were fried.
Yep. And Luke tries to make, I got to stay here, stay there. And then I think Obi-Wan says, you have to come with me. I can't do this without you. Something like that.
Yeah. So he's now got no choice but to go. He's got no more family. They were the last of his family that he's aware of at the time. So him and Obi-Wan head off, and they go to the cantina.
No. You skipped over a bunch of stuff. Sorry, Andrea. No, you skipped over a few things.
Like I said, I can't remember for sure the timeline. I mean, I was working when I watched this.
I understand. No, what happens then is they're going back to his family's place, and they run into the Jawas transporter. And that's when he goes to that line. He goes, "These aren't sand people. These are precision blasts. Only Imperial troops made them. Only Imperial troops would shoot that precision." And then they go, and then they put two and two together that if the droids were attacked, they're going to know where. If they're looking for the droids, they will now put two and two together to go over to Luke's farm. And Luke's scared, and they all take off, only to find his uncle and aunt, not parents. When I say parents, people, I'm sorry. His uncle and aunt burning, black and burning from the attack by the stormtroopers.
Which is like a horrible way to die. I'm sorry.
Is my jogging your memory at all?
Yeah.
And then he says, "I have nothing more for me here." And that's when they leave, right?
And that's when they leave. And so they're going to town first. And
well, tell them what to see.
These are not the droids you're looking for?
Yes, I love that. I'm waiting for you to say.
Yes. I couldn't ever remember what reference that was until I saw that scene, and then I was like, duh. It's so like memorable. Like, these are not the droids you're looking for. And I always wondered how Obi-Wan was able to do that. Like, I know I know the Force is very strong, and it's like, is it mind? Does he?
He explains it. He goes to Luke. He goes, "How'd you do that?" or something like that. And he goes, "The Force can something about weak minds can influence weak minds."
Now that you say that, I remember that. But I always thought, like, it's cool that the Force offers so much more than just, I'm going to levitate this object. You know, like, you can do mind manipulation. And he goes, "These are not the droids you're looking for. You do not need to see identification. You're going to let us pass." Like, just great. Like, Obi-Wan is just so powerful.
And then they sell the land speeder.
Yes, because they're trying to get coin to buy a ship.
Yes.
And this is when they go to the cantina, and the memorable "who shot first?"
Yes.
Who do you think shot first?
I think Han Solo did.
When I was watching it, I think I can back you up on that. Because I remember it's like, oh, this is that scene. I've got to pay attention. I'm like, I'm curious. Like, but just looking at it, it looks like it's Han's blaster first, and then shortly, like not even a second, like a millisecond, it's bam, bam.
Yep. So you think the same thing? Han fired first, or you believe Greedo fired first?
No, I think Han fired first.
I think he knew he was going to get shot, so he did it first.
Fair point.
My guess. And then
it's funny because like Luke and
I messed that up. They sold the land speeder after that scene. Sorry.
it's all right.
Because he goes, "Don't worry, it'll be enough." And they go meet.
Yeah, and so they go and talk to Han about a ship, and Han saying, well, he's got the Millennium Falcon, and then everybody's like, what's the Millennium Falcon? And like Han about had a freak out breakdown moment. He's like, you've never heard of the famous Millennium Falcon, like you live under a rock, you know. I just kind of thought it's funny.
I think the line is, it made the Kessel Run. That's it. It made the Kessel Run under, that line. Why do we? And then Luke gets mad. He's like, "We don't need this guy. I can pilot the ship." He gets all mad at Han.
Yeah. Because
Han's all cocky.
Yeah.
Then they sell the land speeder, and then they go to the hangar because stormtroopers are now in town, and they're looking for him. Oh, they already were in town. Sorry.
I mean,
now depending on what version you saw, or the original version, there was no Jabba cutscene. So when they get to Millennium Falcon, there isn't a scene before that. There is in the special editions, but not in the regular one. The one that scene actually was filmed with a guy being Jabba the Hutt, and then they removed him and then put Jabba as the creature we know today later, and then the scene was remapped to do that, and with Jabba as the guy. So sorry, just adding a little fact to special edition.
No, I love it.
And then they go in the hangar, take it from there. Then they finally meet up with Han and.
Yeah, and then they flee Tatooine, aboard the ship, and then they're heading to Alderaan, and the Death Star.
The Death Star. What?
It's interesting. You've got this planet-type space hub, essentially, where you've got all the Sith, and that's like their home base. And I just thought it was an interesting concept. You've got this planet-like floating orb that houses your Sith, and then you learn it's a weapon, essentially.
Yes,
because they destroy a planet.
See, Obi-Wan has a moment, and he goes, "I feel like there is suddenly a great loss." And then they come out at a hyperspeed, and they're covered. There's a ton of rocks, like the leftover.
And it's all the leftover from the planet, and
then the TIE fighters attack, and then after the TIE fighters attack, Obi-Wan goes, "That was too easy," and Han was he's like, "Easy? You call that easy?" And that's when they see that's no moon line. That's no moon.
And then the tractor beam.
The tractor beam. I love it.
Sorry, when I think of tractor beam, it takes me to Austin Powers. The laser. Anyway,
sharks with freaking lasers.
So the tractor beam snags the Falcon, and they manage to escape capture because they're hiding in the smuggling compartment.
Yes.
Now, if you were in the Sith and you knew there were people aboard that ship, and you knew the pilot of the ship is known to be a smuggler, wouldn't you think to look a little bit deeper than you normally would in a ship?
Yeah, they read that fake log, and the log goes, they jettison in escape pods. They make up this thing that, well, it was jettisoned by escape pod that are gone, and the record reads that they abandoned ship.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty, but I think, it's kind of neat that, they had this plan, but,
But I don't remember the Millennium Falcon having escape pods. That's the only thing I found funny about that.
Yeah. The more you know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just throwing my crap in there.
Yeah, no. But you would think, like, that the pilot is a known smuggler, so you would think, like, hey, we should probably search the ship a little better than just giving a once over.
Well, they started bringing that. Didn't they bring that huge scanner over? They were going to run through the ship.
Yeah.
And the crew went on board, and then they kill him.
Yeah.
And Tate,
and then you like they run up and you can hear Han go. I think it's Han or Luke, and they go, "Can we get a little help over here?" And they like the stormtroopers just casually run in.
Roll in.
They're just like, "Yeah, I'm coming." Like,
we're here. And then Luke's freaking his stormtrooper costume doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So fun. So then Obi-Wan goes off to, I'll take care of the tractor beam. I'll do your quotes for you there.
Tractor beam. Yes, he leaves, and Han and Luke and Chewbacca are off to go rescue Leia.
Yep.
And then we get into one of the saddest moments in the film, the death of Obi-Wan. Now, I want to know why Obi-Wan was just standing there. He had his lightsaber like this, and then he didn't even move. And Vader just, there was nothing to it.
His line was, if you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you ever could imagine.
And I mean, I get it.
You could ever imagine.
My mouse quit
working. By the way, she's not. When they meet Princess Leia, it's like, what kind of rescue is this? She go, and Han Solo gets all offended.
Yes.
So funny. And the garbage chute, which is a funny scene too.
Is my camera flickering on your end? Because it is flickering really bad on my end.
It's a little blurry. That's all. It's not flickering.
Okay, it keeps flickering on my end. Apologize.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
You just stared through the camera. I was scared. You're like, boom. I'm like, what?
What happened to Obi-Wan's lightsaber? Did Obi-Wan have the green one? Because is that the one that Luke takes over? Or...
I thought that was a white one that he had. Oh, wait, that's right. Luke has this lightsaber, right?
I don't remember.
See, it shows up in 7. Sorry, guys, jumping ahead over to 7. And in 7, they find that lightsaber over in that lady's canteen. So
yeah.
I don't know if that's Obi-Wan's lightsaber or if he died with one and Luke doesn't have one. No, does Luke have one? That is a good question. Does he have it the rest of the movie? I don't think he does. I don't think he ever shows a lightsaber in the rest of the movie.
Right.
I can't remember any scene where he has it out.
So Obi-Wan dies, and they use that as kind of a distraction to Vader, and they escape. And somehow there's now a tracking device on the Falcon, and they pretty much lead Vader to their rebel base.
Yeah, we talked about that, Matt.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's too funny when it happens.
So they get down, and again, sorry if I missed anything.
Oh, they get away.
They get away, and they head to Yavin 4.
Leah goes, "They let us go."
Yeah, I mean, and I get where she's coming from too, because I really think that they let him go, and I think they let him go because they knew that they had that tracker, and they're like, oh, they'll lead us exactly right where we need to be.
That's just funny. No, I know that's exactly right. And then they head off to Alderaan, I believe. All right.
I think.
Oh no.
No, they go to the base on.
That's right.
Is it Yavin?
Yeah.
4?
Is it Yavin? Yeah, I think you're right. Do they go to Yavin 4 before? Or am I thinking of the wrong movie?
I could be thinking of the wrong movie at this point. Who knows?
No, I remember them. Remember them being inside a. No, that was never mind. That was in Empire Strikes Back. No, the sign on. Sorry again. That was. Yeah, that was that.
So they get R2-D2 as well, and they get the plans, the Death Star plans, and they learn that there's a weakness in the exhaust port. So now they've got their plan of action.
Yeah, they're all there trying to, and now Han's Captain Solo for some reason. But I just don't understand how you got Captain. But anyways, they show the plans about where they got to shoot that, and then everybody starts complaining, oh, we can't have something like that. And then Luke goes, that's no bigger than a wombat. I used to hunt those at home. You remember that scene?
Yep.
I'm sorry, Andrea. I keep doing this to you.
No, I like it. Like, I remember. No, I like this. Do you remember this? And oh, hey, this happened in like the extended, because I don't think I've seen the extended. So I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, guys, I have a permanent apology because I'm always apologizing to Andrea. Always.
Always. He doesn't need to, but it's okay.
Always.
And then Han abandons everybody. He's like, I'm taking my money and running.
And he goes, I got debts to pay.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, like, yeah, he was selfish, but then again, like, it is his life and he's got a price on his head. So yeah, absolutely. Yes, go pay that price, pay him off, get him off your back, go live your life, like you saved the day once. Good for you.
Yep.
Like, I feel like he made the right choice because, like, in a way, he had no obligation to Luke or Leia. He got Luke and Obi-Wan where they needed to be. So essentially his side of the deal was done.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Luke knows how to fly a freaking X-Wing, and he's like a professional pilot at that.
I love it. We used to shoot our Womp Rats back on the desert. You mentioned some vehicle. It's got that the X-Wing has so much more power. I mean, I'm like, what? Of course, when I was watching the movie at 7 years old, I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, you're like,
okay,
I could do that.
I can roll that.
Yeah, I got this. And so they get in their X-Wings and they go up to space to go destroy this Death Star. And then
they weren't expecting a small force to attack them. That's why the defenses. Remember the turbo lasers?
Yes.
They can dodge the turbo lasers.
But they can't dodge these tiny ships. And one of the pilots mentions that, like, we weren't prepared for their small squadron of ships, and they're like, we can't shake these. And then Luke's getting frustrated because he's like, if you're gonna be on somebody, be on them. And it's like, well, they're trying their best, but like their X-Wings are so much bigger than the little TIE fighters, so they really probably can't see them.
Yeah, the first run is not Luke's run. It's another run that they go down there and he just misses the exhaust port.
Mm-hmm.
And it shakes up the whole Death Star, has an effect to it. And then shortly after that, his commander comes up to Grand Moff Tarkin and he goes, sir, we've studied their attack. He goes, there is a danger. He said, maybe we should retreat, or maybe we should, I forget what he says, retreat or something like that. He goes, in our moment of glory, I think you underestimate their chances.
Which, I mean, the Sith are not ones to surrender and flee. So kudos to them. Like, they knew that they were screwed. Like, they knew that they had, a very slim chance for success and survival. And
Darth Vader leaves with his personal crew, with his personal guys.
Yes. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Han comes back in the Falcon, and he somehow
he comes right back after Darth Vader goes, I have you now.
Yeah, and then he's like
fire, and then right in there. You're right. And he goes, you're all clear, kid.
Yeah. And then Luke's excited because he's like, I thought you left. And Han's like, I'm not letting you take all the glory.
And then it goes, you've turned off your tracking. Is there something wrong, Luke? You've turned off your tracking computer. I'm fine. And then you got freaking Obi-Wan still talking to him.
the
Like,
spirit Obi.
The spirit voice. And of course, Andrea finished it up. They do what?
Well, they win. I mean, they blow up the Death
Luke
Star.
fires. I was waiting for Andrea to go to Luke. Luke fires and hits it perfectly, of course.
Dead on. I mean, no cap. Like,
Whoa.
this farmer kid, pro X-wing flyer phenomenon. He's the best flyer in the squad, and this kid's never sat in a seat of a X-wing in his life. And all of a sudden,
You're so funny. When you break that down, it sounds hilarious because you're like,
and don't they refer to him as like Red Leader? Like this kid.
No, the Red Leader is his one guy.
I'm sorry if my camera goes out. I'm really sorry. It's like freaking out on me.
Now you're fine. All I see is there you are. You're back.
There we go. I don't know what it's doing. I think it's just a connect. It's a cheap camera. So anyway, so they blow up the Death Star. Everybody's hip hip hooray! We saved the day.
And Luke goes to him. He goes, "I knew there was more to you."
Yeah, and then that's when Han goes like, "I can't have you take all the credit or something," because like Han did it for the money and did it for the glory. You know what I mean?
You're right. That's exactly.
And then the end of the movie,
the greatest award ceremony ever.
Their cheesy smiles, like
everyone turns around. I was like, "Come on, medals!" I'm like, "All right." Now that wasn't back in the day. When I was 7, I'm like, "That's awesome! Yeah, give them awards."
Right? Like, yeah. I mean, it was a fun way to end the movie. Like, you just had this epic space battle, and they're like, "What better way to end it than a cheesy award ceremony?"
Yes. And then they cut to lyrics, or cut to credits.
Cut to credits. And I want to say this was one of the first movies back in the 70s where they did end credits and not the beginning credits.
Oh, you know what? You are right about that. Well, they put them in later, but you're right. Originally, they didn't put all those in there. You're right. And then there were silence.
Sorry, I have a friend messaging me. He applied for my work and he had a family emergency come up and he had to miss his interview.
Well, we're fast forwarding now to 1980 with the release of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, so Empire Strikes Back. This is my least favorite out of the original.
Oh my god! Thank you, Andrew. I wish I could reach you and hug you. I get slammed from my friends all the time. They think Empire's the best.
Yeah, this is my least favorite out of the originals, followed by A New Hope, and then Return of the Jedi is actually my favorite. And I know that that's a lot of people's least favorite. And I respect that. I do. I mean, I like it because...
I'm turning off your camera.
Is it still bugging me?
No, I'm making a joke. No, I'm making a joke. If you like Return of the Jedi better, I made a face like, I'll just mute you. No, that's fine. That's my wife's favorite. That's my wife's favorite. She loves the Ewoks. She loves that movie. That's my wife's favorite movie. Star Wars stuff, that's the one she loves the best. And she loved Jar Jar Binks from the original one too. My wife found him very humorous.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I really love it. And then I grew up like childhood crush Mark Hamill, and it was based around Return of the Jedi.
You know who I wish was an adult and single and I wasn't married? I want to marry Ginny Weasley. I love that actress.
Bonnie,
love her.
Right. She is fantastic.
Phenomenal. Love her. But I mean, even reading the books, I loved her character in the books too.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's little in the kid. I'm not trying to be a perv, everybody. I'm just saying. I think she did a great job with the character in the book, and she just, I don't know. I always thought her character was awesome.
Let me look up
Because I think it's not the swerve that people tell me that's such a big swerve in Harry Potter that it's not going to be Harry and her. I'm like, it's not that big of a swerve. I mean,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
okay.
All right. Let us.
I'm talking about this. The books. See, I'm basing it on what. I don't know if I base it more on the books or the movie. I know in the movie, Ginny Weasley loses a lot of her lines from the book, scenes from the book, which is but Bonnie Wright's phenomenal, and she did a great job. We were gonna get together and because my daughter loves her, and we were gonna do a cameo with her, but we ended up not doing that. It was expensive.
So a couple of trivia for.
Here we go.
For The Empire Strikes Back.
Everybody, perk up here. Call your neighbors, by the way. You got to stop stopping.
The scene where Luke Skywalker hits his head on the ceiling of Yoda's hut, it had to be filmed 16 times. So that's 16 times that Mark Hamill had to hit his head on Yoda's hut because they weren't satisfied.
Ever, guys, special effects were a lot of these things were practical effects. So I mean, they were using for all the movies. He uses they're using miniatures and overhead cameras and all that stuff. There wasn't like you could film it once and then we'll figure it out in post production. That's what I've been told. I mean, that's what I've heard about that scene.
Another little trivia tidbit. When Mark Hamill was having trouble with the Dagobah scenes with Yoda, Frank Oz brought in Miss Piggy to make Mark Hamill laugh.
I do not know that. That is hilarious. That's funny. Love it. There's Matt. Matt, yeah, it probably hurt him being it's a practical effect. Sorry, people. You'll over time you'll understand that I like practical effects. I love special effects. Don't get me wrong, love them. But there's just something about the old school where everything had to be practical, like your explosions had to be real, and all that stuff like that. So, just wanted you guys to know I'm a fan of practical over CG.
Jim Henson from the Muppets was offered the role of Yoda, but he turned it down. And Frank Oz got the role.
You mean the actor himself, or to do the voice?
The actor himself.
Matt, that's great, buddy. That's absolutely phenomenal.
Did you see the outtake where when Vader's entering in the Hoth base, he trips over a cable and falls face first?
Is there a scene that shows that? I heard that's what happens. Can you see it on film?
I don't know. It just says that it was one of the earlier outtakes, so I don't know if that's like if it's in the the deluxe or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like a never before seen
Yeah, I didn't know these. Andrea's busting out some trivia. Even I didn't know. I consider myself a pretty big fan, but no idea. Hold on, everybody. I gotta find.
Sorry, I'm trying to find more interesting of the facts.
Sorry, everybody. I'm just adding stuff to Andrea's birthday gifts. There's the address right now.
Darth Vader was named ranked number 3 on the AFI's list of 50 greatest villains. And Empire's.
I didn't know. Did I know that?
And this Empire Strike Back is voted number 3 on the 500 greatest movies of all time.
Where's it ranked? 3rd? Did you say?
Yeah.
That's awesome. People got to touch my post-it notes here. Nobody's supposed to be down here by my computer. No, I remember them anyways. Sorry, everybody. Pause in the action. I'm just adding. I'm sending Andrea some cool gifts for her October birthday. And I had a list here, but somebody's freaking messing around the post-it notes.
Sorry, I'm trying to see if we have any other interesting tidbits.
Where's my pen? All right. They were the Harry Potter pops, right?
I have some of them.
No, the ones I was going to send you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, folks. Wait, they're on. Andrew's going to throw out some more interesting facts for you. So, unfortunately, not unfortunately. Right now, I'm just writing a note, and she's dishing out great trivia. Matt as well. John, we don't care that you're on your way home. Just kidding, John. Wait, let me put it up. It'll be nice to have you, John. It'll be nice to have you.
George Lucas in his office has the head of a stormtrooper and a replica of R2-D2. Did not know that.
Who has that?
George Lucas in his office.
I did not know that. That's man, you're finding a lot of stuff. I don't know any of this stuff.
I like looking up trivia.
Uncomfortable silence.
Okay, that's like the last of the interesting trivia. They're like, there's 248 trivia tidbits, but they're mostly like really long, and I'm just like, I don't really care.
Why do I have TurboTax written on it? Damn.
When Luke was hanging in the ice cave, the scene was played. Oh, yes. I do remember reading that one, Matthew.
Oh, really? That's awesome. I did not know that. Again, I'm getting smoked on this stuff. Matt, you've been adding a lot of stuff, buddy. We love it.
So this goes against how me and you feel about this film, but The Empire Strikes Back has been critically reassessed and is now often regarded as the best film in the Star Wars franchise and among the greatest films ever made.
Hold on. I have something to say about that. Let me throw it first. Because that's stupid. I threw up there on camera, everybody. That's how I feel about it. Threw up on camera.
I mean, I definitely can see where people think that, but I mean, out of the originals, this one really was my least favorite of the ones.
Yeah,
and I just really don't know why, but like the other two were just better to me.
Yeah, I'm with you, Andrea, on that one. I am with you. I just did not find it as. I don't know what else to say about it. It seems to drag in parts. I mean, there's some parts like that just kind of go too long on it.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Dagobah scenes, I'll be honest with you, though I liked that introduction of Yoda and all that stuff. It was cool and all, but I didn't like the fact that it seemed to drag on, and there was a tree of woe.
do you now, to just go off a little off topic, because we'll cover these movies another time.
Go ahead.
But
go ahead,
1, 2, and 3. What one out of those three? Which one was your least favorite?
Who, me?
Yeah, 1, 2, or 3.
I already agreed with you like 10 times.
No. We're talking about 1, 2, or 3 to go off of the tangent. So episode 1, episode 2, episode 3.
You mean the prequels or the 4, 5, 6?
No, the prequels 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, people throw that at me. Honestly, 1 dragged way too much. So I'm not a fan of. I mean, 1 is thing. I like 2, but a lot of people are like, no.
I'm one of those. I remember 2 was the first Star Wars I saw actually in a movie theater, like live when it came out. Wasn't impressed. I mean, I was a kid. I thought it was boring. And I get a lot of heat. I get a lot of heat for that.
Oh, people! I get a lot. My friends don't like 2 either. I liked basically what's what I like. I like 2, but there's of course I can nitpick it. And then I do like 3 because a lot of stuff happens in 3. Mace Windu. They expand on.
And we'll dive more into it when we get there. But I was just kind of curious, like if your thought process was kind of the same, like with 4, 5, and 6, like it is with mine. But
1 is just too long. It's 1 just sometimes it dragged. Like the whole Tatooine thing could have been done in like 20 minutes. Meanwhile, you're there like an hour going, oh my God, when are they going to do something?
Yeah. Like when are they going to leave? Yeah. Okay, so Empire Strikes Back, our least favorite.
We're on Hoth. The Hoth scene, I like the snow stuff. I have to admit, I like the Hoth scene, but that's where it ends for me because the journey took too long. They're hiding inside of that asteroid, and there's this creature in there. And and the love thing starts heating up, and I'm like, all right, sorry guys.
Yeah. So
Remember, I'm 10 years old. I'm 10 years old. This is my 10-year-old opinion
yes, this
right
one
now. I
was
keep popping from 52 to 10. So,
released in 1980.
oh Matt, feel free to keep adding to the show, man. You've thrown so much. It's awesome.
Like you said, so we're on Hoth, the ice planet. Luke's hanging upside down.
Yeah. Do they cut the Hoth first? No, it's him getting struck down first, right? That's how they open that one. Yeah, I think they go. I don't think you see the Hoth.
I think you're right because the probe's released by Vader.
That's right, and then Luke is end up hanging down. Well, he gets attacked and taken away, and then
he's hanging upside down.
And when Han found out that he hadn't reported yet, Han went back out knowing that the warned by C-3PO that it's going to be negative 4,000 or whatever, and he his Tauntaun dies on the way to try to I believe on the way to rescue Luke, right?
Yeah, because Han's freaking out.
Luke got away. He cut and then he sliced that creature's arm off.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's staggering and he sees Obi-Wan's reflection. He goes, Obi-Wan, and he collapses. And Obi-Wan's image is changed over to Han Solo.
Yes.
I've watched him too many times, folks. I've watched him too many times. No, I'm not kidding. I can watch it.
And they insulate him inside the dead Tauntaun.
Yes. I found that scene gross when I was younger.
I mean, I could see it. Like, you're young, you're 10. Like, that would be traumatizing to see at 10.
You know they sell that as a bed, right?
Why?
They have a giant Tauntaun that's stuffed, and then you open up the inside of it, like you unzip it, and children can sleep there. Sorry. Yes, maybe at 10 that might sound cool, even though I was grossed out. But no way would that be anywhere near my children.
Right.
No way. Gross.
I do have.
All right, Matt. Nice.
Well, I shouldn't say I have. My son has.
I've never seen. I'm sorry,
the
Andrea.
Hoth place.
Just a second, Matt.
Oh,
I didn't know there. I've seen a ton of deleted scenes. I've never seen that. Never. Wow, it's interesting. Sorry, Andrea. I just thought that was interesting.
Oh, you're fine. I was just going off on a.
Go ahead. I keep doing this to you. I know.
My son, he's 7. He's into Star Wars too, and he's been getting Star Wars toys for Christmas, and he's got the Hoth playset, and he's got the AT-AT, and he's got the Tauntaun.
Has he watched? How many movies has he watched?
I think we've only watched the originals with him, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, and you had no problem with that, right?
No, I don't think he's like into the movies as much as he is into like the merch.
Gotcha. But you and your husband felt you were being good parents, though, right? When you let him see that, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. My sister, not the same way, everybody. She let her son warn the first one, and then she said the others are too violent. He wouldn't understand, and he still hasn't seen The Empire Strikes Back, and he's like 8 years old. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
I just had to do that, Andrea. If my sister ever watches this back, that's why, sis. See?
I mean, like, because I watched them as a kid, like, it's just, I grew up with the Star Wars, they're not inappropriate for kids, like, they're not gory. They might be a little, like you said, like that Tauntaun scene was a little creepy. They might be like a little suspenseful, but they're definitely not inappropriate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was joking around with you. I mean, obviously you and your husband are great parents. I was just saying that my sister, she finds that, she had to keep them shielded from all that. And she said the second one was really gory. And the only example she could bring up was the beginning of the movie. Star Wars doesn't have a lot of blood scenes, everybody. It just doesn't.
No,
I mean, series really doesn't have it. I mean, even when Snoke gets house, there's no blood.
Well, and that was something like in what my notes with this movie was when Luke loses his hand. There's no blood.
Matt, me and Andrea love you for that right there.
I love Star Wars Legos. I just love
Some
Lego. I
expensive
mean,
ones.
really, I just love Lego.
They are great. Empire that Matt, I don't know if you ever built it, but man, have you seen that one that's for that Millennium Falcon, that big one?
The
That's
big
expensive
one.
as all heck.
Oh, I think it's more expensive than the big Hogwarts castle.
Is it bigger than that? Because that's expensive too. Do you
I
have that
think
one?
so. No, I've been wanting to get it, but I don't know that I want to spend the money on it.
How much is it? I don't. It's in the
300.
hundreds.
It's 300.
I thought it was bigger.
Yeah.
There's some that hit the thousands, but I forget which those are.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would love to have it one day, but like, I'm not like, oh, I need to go out and buy this like right now.
And let me tell you, people, only my one friend had the foresight talking about the toys, the merch from the first movie. When the X-Wing came out, the Millennium Falcon came out, we all had different toys, okay? My idea of the TIE Fighter, being destroyed was to throw the TIE Fighter in the air and watch it come crashing down and everything went erased. Now, my friend bought the Millennium Falcon, and he used to do this. Oh, we're coming in. He'd lay it real slow and then move the parts real slow, and it got blown up. He never destroyed any of his toys. Me, I destroyed all of them.
I mean, that's the way to play it then.
Oh, there we go. How much did that run you, Matt? The Death Star.
That would be a really cool set, the Death Star. All right, so back to Hawk. Back to Hawk. No, you're fine. I like these. I like these tangents.
No, I just want to say, Andrea, I'm afraid that I can't do the castle for you for a gift. It's just too pricey.
You don't worry about that.
Too pricey.
Don't you worry about that. I'll get it one day. I mean, one of these days that I get a really good work bonus.
Nice.
So Han and Luke stay the night on Hoth because they're waiting to get rescued.
Yeah, and he's in that weird medical device underwater for some reason.
Yes.
Never
and
understood
then
that. Han walks in and she kisses him, and he gets all mad and jealous.
Yes.
Sorry. Meanwhile, we saw our first choke. I mean, in Star Wars, the original, we see him. Grand Moff Tarkin's kind of in charge, but Darth Vader kind of does the Force choke in the first movie. But in this one, he destroys it. He kills the whole guy when he's on a video screen because he went to the wrong system or whatever. Oh no, it's because they came out of hyperspeed out of light speed too close to the planet, and the planet detected him. He got mad and he force choked that guy with the other guy in charge. Admiral Piet is now in charge. Sorry guys, I know little facts like that back and forth. Just trying to help.
It adds to the fun. So now the Empire knows where they're at because they had their probe.
And they send down the walkers.
I was gonna say, is it or is it AT-AT?
Yeah, it's AT-AT. When we were a kid, we called it AT. That's what we called the other one.
And that's what we called it too.
And the one in Empire Strikes and Return of the Jedi in the Forest, that's an AT-ST.
Yeah,
it's a smaller model. Now you see some AT-STs in the Hoth attack. But we thought those were awesome coming from the distance. I was like, what the hell's coming? You know, I was like, sorry. And they're looking to destroy the shield generator.
Yes. And then somehow everybody evacuates.
It's expensive, Matt. It's expensive, $400.
And Han and Leia and C-3PO are on the Falcon.
And they leave. Well, that's the last. They were using the ion cannon. Remember, they kept firing an ion cannon blast, and they would let a ship go. I'm sorry. See, I keep doing this. I don't want to make you mad.
I don't mind. You're helping me. You're helping me with the stuff that yeah. And then you say it, and then it's like, duh. So no, they can't jump into hyperdrive because something's happened with it, and Han and Chewie are down fixing it, and then they think they're being fired at, and then Han like perks up out of the little hole, and he goes, "That's not a blaster." And he goes, "Something hit us." And then they run up, and then
that actually happens after. That hasn't happened right away. They have to fight the Star Destroyers, and then he sticks the Star Destroyer. He sticks the Millennium Falcon right behind the the top of the Star Destroyers at the big top. He hid there, and then when they released the garbage, they released and went into the flow of garbage.
That's right.
And then that's when they leave and get asteroid entry. I'm just sorry. I'm just trying to keep you up. That's also where Boba Fett starts tracking it as well.
Yes, and I
Sorry,
love the
I
Boba
feel
Fett.
horrible. Guys, I'm
Don't
trying to
don't
focus,
like.
but
I'm
I'm like
glad
interrupting.
this is why
Interrupting.
I wanted to do the show with you, because you're very knowledgeable with Star Wars, and
Thanks, Andrew. I'll try to stop saying that. Matt, this is funny you say this, right? Because we were like, how do you get that? I mean, how do you get them down there? I totally agree with you. Just like how did and the second of the newer movies in 8, why the heck did they get that gigantic cannon that drags by chains? I'm like, what is that? I'm like, that was so ridiculous.
they ejected it from the ship, and it just like slowly fell to the planet. Like,
That's got to be
really.
Who said on the design board, hey, in case we ever have people trapped in a mountain, we're going to need a big block with the thing. And by the way, we have to pull it with ATs. We've got to pull it there. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Whoever came up with that weapon, dumb, because it's only a specific situation gun. That's it. I just thought that was funny. I'm sorry. I don't know how they get their big equipment down on the ground. So
It's a fair point. So they're in the asteroid field. They managed to escape, but now they've got, as you said, Boba Fett.
Yeah, he's tracking.
Boba Fett's now tracking.
And that's when they end up in the planet with the where it's not a cave on the asteroid. It's actually a creature's mouth.
Yes. And then shortly after that, they end up on the Cloud City, which lost mic. So they end up on Cloud City, and they meet up with Han's old friend, Lando Calrissian.
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
No, I was fixing my nose in an inappropriate way on camera.
So they meet up with Lando.
Boo! You missed the whole Dagobah thing.
No, that's next.
Did they get to Cloud City first? Oh, you know what? You are right. Because eventually, that's right. You're right, Luke.
It's scene cuts. So they land in Cloud City, and then it cuts to Luke and R2, and they're going down to Dagobah to go find this Jedi Master Yoda.
Lala, you're exactly right. I was using a Kleenex and doing that.
You gotta do what you gotta do, guys. I mean, at least Mike didn't do it on camera. He was being respectful.
Good job, Matt. Yes, well, yeah, it was a big effing worm.
Now I think it's kind of funny that Luke crash lands. He's supposed to be like this grade A flyer, and he just casually crash lands his ship.
I know, it's like the sensors are jammed, and he comes out of the clouds. He's in a forest. I'm like, okay. Once again, people, the whole thing's a swamp. The whole planet's a swamp planet.
Yeah, because like you said, in Star Wars, you only have one atmosphere or whatever. Like, Dagobah's a swamp.
That's when I got older.
Just sand.
When I got older, I was like, that is funny as hell.
Cloud City is just clouds.
Yeah, I know. It's just floating. Is there land on that planet? You don't even know if there's land there.
Right.
It's in the sky.
So they find Yoda, and they don't know that Yoda is Yoda. And
okay. Sounded like Kermit to me. 10 years old, that sounded like Kermit to me, just to let you know.
I can see it.
Sorry.
10
years old.
Yoda says, like, I can be a friend to you, or something along that lines. And I always thought it was weird that Yoda speaks the way that he does, like, Jedi Master I am.
At 10, thought it was cool. Now, think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, I get it. They wanted Yoda to be, like, different. He's supposed to be this great Jedi Knight. He's supposed to be mythical, but I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. Like, why does Yoda speak the way that he does?
Not to mention, Yoda's talking to Obi-Wan Kenobi through the sky. He's not ready yet. And then I'm like, how are you carrying on a conversation in part of your house to a ghost? And it's a ghost we don't see. It's just a voice. Yeah. Who are you talking to? I'd have been like, what?
Yeah.
Weird. He's too old to train. I'm like, come on, dude. Stop going on the corner of your room.
So Yoda starts training Luke to become a Jedi Master. Yoda's hesitant, like you said, because he thinks Luke's too old. Obi-Wan's like, you have to. He's like our only hope. And I know this is a little bit later on, but when Obi-Wan goes, he's our only hope, and then Yoda just goes, but there is another.
Actually, Obi-Wan says that.
Or Obi-Wan says that.
Forgive me, guys, again.
Then
he senses that the people in Cloud City. Well, first he goes in that tree of woe or tree of darkness, or whatever.
Yeah, and he has a premonition.
Yeah, and then when he strikes down Darth Vader in the tree, he sees his own face in the mask.
Mm-hmm. Which is good foreshadowing because at the time, nobody knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father.
Yeah, that was a huge twist, everybody. When I found out 10 years old, we were shocked as hell.
It's considered the biggest plot twist in movie history.
I did not know that, Andrea. Interesting. I can see why it is, though.
And we won't get too much into the Yoda's training Luke. Luke has this premonition. He chops off Vader's head, but not really. Then all of a sudden, Luke can feel the Force.
Yes, and then the negative side of the Force, actually, I believe that is that, because remember you said it's dark thoughts or dark something in the thing, and then that's when and like Andrew said earlier, they're switching back to Cloud City at the same time. They keep doing that, and finally, like I don't know if Darth Vader's the one that baited him there or something, because Yoda's like, don't leave. But what happened?
Oh, that's my brother. We joke. Can you see the resemblance? We're twins.
I need a better picture of him. I can't.
We look the exact same. Just picture me, but as a male and handsome. And that's my boy Martin.
I can't. It looks like somebody holding a baby.
That's his wife.
And then there's a African American.
Yeah, that's Martin. That's my twin.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's supposed to be. Oh, so I missed that. Way over my head.
We're twins. We look exactly the same. We're twins.
Okay,
strong family resemblance.
Is it Marthin? Did I say it right? Is it right? Marthin? Andrew?
Martin. Like
Martin. The E. Yeah. Oh, I've never seen it spelled like that. That's cool.
All right, so like you were mentioning, and I mentioned, like they do the cut scenes, like they go back and forth, and now we're back in Cloud City.
Thanks, Matt.
Lando two-timed.
Andrew, say goodbye, Matt.
Oh, bye, Matt. Good night, Matt. Thanks for joining.
Saw you in the floating city now.
Yeah, and Lando two-timed, and now Leia and Han and Chewie are captured.
Yeah, the Imperial Army or the stormtroopers and Darth Vader got there first. So as he tries to explain to Han, but he sold Han. Basically sold Han.
And Lando's trying to not seem like the sleazy guy that he is. And when they're in the cell, he tries to play off like, I know exactly what's happening. I can help you escape. He's trying to play like, oh, like what choice would you make if you were in my shoes type thing. And
Chewie starts strangling him. Oh, no, it's not till later. Sorry.
Not till later, but yeah. They take Han and they start torturing him. And one of the commanders makes the comment to Vader of, he'd rather die than tell you anything. And he goes, just wait until I'm done with him. And meaning he knows how to get under their skin, and he'll get what he needs out.
I don't want to know another funny scene, and they made a funny scene in I can't. Robot Chicken. That's the series I'm talking about.
Okay.
And it was funny because you never think of this, right? What they did was they made a scene where you join us for dinner, right? And then they showed how awkward dinner would be. It's so funny. Like Darth Vader has a muffin. He goes, "Oh, you guys are all worried about Alderaan." He's like, "Here's all. Who's this muffin?" He goes, "Blue, blue, 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 blue." All dead. It's so funny. You got to see it, Andrew. It's hilarious. Just don't think
So
of things like that. It's just so funny.
yeah,
What would dinner be like?
So they capture Han, they're torturing him, and then Lando in the carbonate chambers, like, with the temperature this cold, you're gonna downright kill him, meaning Luke, because they want to freeze Luke until they can get to the Emperor. And Vader makes the comment of, then we'll test it on Solo.
Yeah.
So
then the famous line happens.
I love you.
I know. Cocky to the end.
And then
perfectly freeze the guy.
Perfect. What first try? Never done this before. And they're like, he's perfectly frozen, perfect in hibernation.
I know, they go to these 3 LED lights and they're like, yeah, it's fine. Let's go. And then he turns him over to Boba Fett, I believe.
Yes, Darth Vader gives him over to Boba Fett for his bounty, and they take Boba Fett is going to take him over to Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, I forgot one thing. Andrea's favorite character, C-3PO, is now in parts because the stormtrooper that you don't realize hit him.
Yes, and
he's all upset.
Chewie tries to put him back together and does it backwards, so Chewie just decides to wear him as a backpack.
So funny. That is funny. But then Luke starts running around his base.
Yeah, and Lando, again, 2-timing, decides he's going to go free Leia and Chewbacca, and that's when Chewbacca starts to choke.
Almost killed him.
He's
like, wow. It's awesome. That's right. It's awesome.
And then shortly after that.
Andrea, wait. One more thing about that C-3PO scene is a backpack. His arms and legs were like sticking up, like his foot was in part of the backpack, and then the hand was like this. I was like dying. Sorry. When you said backpack, it was so funny. That scene.
So we get just after that, Luke and Vader meet up, and they've got the strong connection. They don't realize why their connection is so strong, and then you get into their battle, and Vader's obviously overpowering. Luke just flies out the window. Bless his soul.
Especially because he gets away. They try to freeze him. He jumps out, and Darth Vader goes, impressive.
Yes. And then Vader breaks that window, and Luke falls down, and he's just hanging on for dear life. And then they engage some more in lightsaber battle, and then Luke loses his arm, and Vader says, you need to join. Yeah.
I know.
And that's where I mentioned earlier, there's no blood. And it's like you said, it's not gory at all. What
you're taking away, I guess, is the blade cauterized it, I guess.
And that's my thought too, is it's a hot blade, it's gonna cauterize the wound. So yeah, no blood. And then
drop the famous line.
And then Luke spits out, why would I join you? You killed my father. And then
there it comes, everybody.
No.
Here it comes.
And he doesn't say, Luke, I am your father. It's, I am your father.
There it is. Yes, Andrea. Yes.
I do want to know why people transposed it as Luke, I am your father.
I literally for years I called it that, and then I found out, oh yeah, you're right. When I watched it, I was rewatching it. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. He doesn't say that.
I think I had to watch it once, and I was like, there's no way. I was like, it is Luke, I am your father. So it makes me wonder why we transposed it at the time as it's Luke, I am your father, when it's clearly I am your father.
And then he goes, no.
And then he decides, rather join him, he's just gonna fall.
He lets go of the thing and he falls. That's funny. You know that scene where he ends up, now he goes flying through and he ends up on the outdoor antenna, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then on Robot Chicken, they have a cut to a scene where they're like they're trying to sell apartments,
Uh-huh.
and the guy goes, he goes, yeah, he goes, the cable goes out when Luke grabs on it, the cable goes out in the apartment they're showing. And the guy goes, Cloud City, more like Crap City. Sorry. Another funny thing.
Yeah, so Luke's hanging onto the antenna, and somehow he's able to reach Leia using the Force, which got me thinking, well,
she used Andrea.
Now,
Andrea's the Force.
Is Leia a Jedi?
She used you though, Andrea. You're the Force. So
I am the Force. I was going to trademark my nickname, but I didn't know how to do the trademark button on the keyboard. So
change your name to the Force. What's up, the? No, it's yeah.
Yeah, so Luke reaches Leia with the Force, and all of a sudden the Falcon just rescues him, and then the TIE fighters go and follow him, and they're almost captured by Vader on his Star Destroyer, and then R2-D2 saves the day.
Wait, he did? Okay, so and they rescue him. The ship flew, but I thought the ship got away that time. Maybe not. You could be right.
Yeah, so R2-D2 activates their hyperdrive because it was broken.
And yeah, never mind, Andrew. You're 1,000% right. That's exactly what happened.
And then they end the movie with Luke getting his hand fixed, and he's talking to Lando and Chewbacca, saying that, we'll meet up with you and we'll go find Han.
Yep, but it's once again no blood or gore. They have the wrist open, and all you see is electronical things moving as Luke moves his fingers. No blood again, folks. No blood, not gory movie. My sister. So, anyways.
And then that's how the movie ends. Like, just okay, we're gonna go find Han. There was we just saved the world. Han was frozen, taken away. Luke loses his hand. Like a lot of things happen, and I think that's why this one was my least favorite. Like, there wasn't that much that went on in this one. Like, as far as the number 4, there was a lot of space fights and a lot of action. Right. And
the Hoth scene takes forever. I mean, it's a good 40 minutes of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
so that ends. That ends the Empire Strikes Back.
Somebody found a funny thing though, that when they said they're going to go find him, Lando now has on Han's clothes. How'd that happen? How'd that happen? I thought that was funny.
And then to end our night, we're going to talk about my favorite. And that's okay that it's not your favorite. I'm not mad there.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Again, I only like this one because I grew up girl crushing on Mark Hamill as Luke. Let me find some trivia, and I'll wait for Mike for these because he loves the trivia. And I hope you viewers at home are enjoying our show tonight. Again, we are recapping Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6. And we are about ready to dive in to episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
I have returned.
Well, back I was just giving a recap if we have any new viewers, what we were doing tonight, and we're about ready to dive into Return of the Jedi. And I'm sorry if I'm starting to sound tired. I'm getting a little bit tired, but we're gonna finish this show strong. And
I know, Andrew, you're exhausted. I feel bad.
No, it's fine. It's been a really long work week, so, and I don't have to work on Monday, so I've got a long weekend ahead of me, and I'm really excited.
So is my daughter.
Okay, so Just to start off with some trivia, it took 6 people to work the animatronic Jabba the Hutt, which I thought was really interesting.
That was interesting how they did that. Like, and people, you got to understand. Like I said, I was 10 and 7, 7 and then 10 in the first movies. Guys got to understand this stuff was at the time state of the art special effects. I mean, they actually Jabba's still there as an entity, but it's not. Well, the skin's put on him later. But what I'm saying is, all those are new techniques up to this point. No one had ever done anything like that. So just to say.
Carrie Fisher complained about being the damsel in distress, and she didn't want to be like the eye candy. So in Return of the Jedi, they completely redid her character costume.
Well, 2, she's in that Hoth outfit. Remember, in the beginning of 2, she's got the braids going and everything. But I know what you mean. They kept evolving her. Obviously now you told me that. Obviously, she had a lot of input in changing it. So that's great to hear. I did not know all of that.
It took 3 months to build the Jabba the Hutt puppet and cost $500,000 to make.
This one did? The last one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm now 13, everybody. 13 now. This is 83.
Yoda was not originally in the original script for this movie.
Really?
They added Yoda into the script when they felt that Luke needed closure of, is Darth Vader really my father?
They what?
They only added Yoda into the script for closure for Luke regarding Darth Vader being his father.
Wait a minute. I am kind of lost.
That's just what it says.
No. Say it again one more time, Andrea. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. No, it's me. You're not hearing it right.
Oh, no, you're fine. So Yoda wasn't in the original script. And then George Lucas wrote Yoda in because he felt Luke needed the closure.
Okay, I'm following you now.
Vader being his dad. So he kind of George Lucas just felt like, oh, we have to give Luke closure. Like, yeah, his dad's like the greatest villain of all time. Another one is I got the second Death Star is 460% larger than the first Death Star.
Mr. GQ, that's John coming in.
John's coming in, is that what you said?
Yeah. Just let you guys know some facts, because guess what? Star Wars Empire Strikes Back toys started the something that had to be put on the packaging. They had released a Boba Fett whose rocket, when you hit it, actually left the figure. And that's why you have the +3 choking things now on toys that make kids choke. That's the figure that caused it. I just want everybody to know. That's an interesting fact. I don't know if everybody knows it or not.
Did
you know, Andrew, or no?
I didn't.
That is why
the last trivia note that I've got is this is the first movie in the world to have grossed over $20 million in its opening weekend.
That was huge, especially back then.
Yes, considering that 4 and 5 raked in quite a bit of money as well, but this
I believe all the movies put together is the most biggest franchise. I mean, it's the biggest amount of money ever, right? Mm-hmm. All the movies. That's what I thought. That's a good tip, Andrew. Good job.
Now, as we're getting into characters in this one, so obviously my favorite character in this one is Luke Skywalker. Is Darth Vader still your favorite come Return of the Jedi?
Oh, I love Darth Vader by that point.
And
I do love the Ewoks. The Ewoks were great, I thought.
For those of you watching at home, John's just going to take the back seat. He has never seen Star Wars. He will never see Star Wars, so he's just here
That's not true.
I
That is not true. I am supposed to be getting kidnapped by a couple of my best friends in a few weeks to watch all of them, so I will have knowledge sooner than later.
Okay. Then you'll be able to join us when we do episodes 1, 2, and 3 next month.
Yep. Give me about 2 months.
No. That's not what you said. You said Andrea was going to kill your rabbit and put it on the stove and have it just cooking there.
Is that why my house smells?
That's from a movie, but you remember that scene in that movie, Andrew?
No, but
Do you know which movie I'm talking about?
No, and I should. I feel bad because I feel like I know, but I don't remember.
Fatal Attraction.
Yes.
Or I could have said that you found a horse head in your bed too, buddy. That's from The Godfather.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right, so Return of the Jedi.
Here we go.
It's 1 year.
Go.
It's been 1 year since Han Solo has been frozen in carbonite. The C-3PO and R2-D2 are taken to Jabba the Hutt. And we find, I think it's where the Jabba the Hutt's on Tatooine. Of all the planets, he's on Luke's home planet, Tatooine.
Yeah, wait, that opens with that scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they're going up to the door, him and C-3PO?
Yeah.
Is that how it starts?
I thought so. I could be lying to you.
Wait a minute. Is he unfrozen by that point or no?
No, he doesn't get unfrozen until a little while longer.
Oh, that's right. When Luke comes in, he's still frozen. All right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, sorry. I am going to yawn.
Anyways, they get to the door and this orb comes flying out like an eye.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke or is it C-3PO that announces him, or is it he says it?
It's Luke. So it's Luke, and he's here to see Jabba because they're trying to make a trade bargain.
The door opens up, and then he convinces his right-hand man to take him to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jabba goes, "You weak-minded fool."
I love Jabba. Like, I thought his character was fun. And again, like, to go in Spaceballs, it's Pizza the Hut.
Oh my gosh. So good.
Yeah, John, so when you watch Star Wars, make sure you do Spaceballs because that one's hilarious.
Well, the funny thing is I've actually watched Spaceballs before.
Okay. So you get, I was like, you get Pizza the Hut and...
Yep. Yeah. I actually own Spaceballs on DVD, I'm not going to lie.
You're a smack ass.
Well, so does everyone say, because I watched Spaceballs, but I never watched Star Wars.
That's all right.
Look at you. You chose some silly wedding over watching the movies.
It's quite a priority.
I'm trying to make Andrea laugh, but that failed.
Hey, John looks nice, though.
He does. That's why I wrote GQ, because I said he was Juku earlier tonight.
Yeah, that's why I put my name in Mr. Q. Did you notice?
Dude, you look great in your suit. I mean, I saw it online today. You look phenomenal.
Well, thank you, sir.
So Luke is trying to make this trade bargain with Jabba, and then
he sees Princess Leia's captured.
Yes, Princess Leia is captured.
Wait,
no, because she's not captured yet because she's dressed as a bounty hunter right
That's
now.
Right. Yes, that's right. You're right.
So
Sorry.
Yeah, she's in her interesting bounty hunter costume, and then she pretends she's collecting like her bounty, and then she unfreezes Han, but is shortly captured after that, and then she is Jabba's slave.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. I love that. That was a little bit of a twist to start the movie out with. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I remember when I first saw this, I thought it was going to be Lando who was sneaking in as a bounty hunter, not Leia. So that was really interesting.
Are you stuck in? Oh, no, he didn't stick into the barge. Remember he was on the barge?
Uh-huh.
He dressed as one of Jabba's guards or whatever. I think that's not... I don't know if you see him in the... in Jabba's room until he's shown on the on that flying thing, that flying freighter type deal. Really funny, Andrea. Do you remember? Okay, so then you know how he comes out of carbonite freezing?
Uh-huh.
Okay, remember back on Cloud City, like, oh, we've never tried this on anyone.
Yeah.
We don't know if it'll live. And then like he does it, and then suddenly, Leo's like, "Oh, your symptoms are the effect of uncarbonating or unfreezing someone in carbonite." I'm like, "Wait a minute, this thing didn't even work before. How do you know that
Yeah,
that's a thing?"
it's like it's
I'm
never
like,
been done before.
"But you saying these are the effects that normally accompany this? What are you talking about? This is a one-time thing." Sorry, go ahead.
So um so now Leia's captured. Luke's trying to bargain for his friends, and Jabba's like, "Yeah, not gonna happen, buddy," and then drops him through the floor where
Yes.
they'd expect him to be eaten by the Sark.
How does he lose his lightsaber? I forget how that happened though. Because he had it on him, and then
I don't know if they confiscated it from him when like he came in. I can't. That's something I don't remember.
I don't think he uses it in the.
No,
in the
he uses the stick.
Rancor pit. Yeah, in the Rancor pit.
Mm-hmm. He uses the stick.
Right. I don't know why Leia was about to say something, and all of a sudden, like Jabba, like moved her chain a little bit, and she couldn't tell him a warning.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just nitpicking things.
Yeah, so Luke manages to kill the beast, and he escapes, and then all of a sudden,
remember the beast, Andrew, remember the beast owner was crying?
Yeah, and he's like a ball baby crying because his monster of a beast is now dead, and it's like, well, what do you expect? Like,
I know, buddy. You're a creature or a Jedi? Sorry, man.
Yeah. So Jabba obviously doesn't like that, and they're gonna throw Luke overboard now, and now they're on that little ship thing, and they're over the big
C-3PO serving drinks. No. No, wait, he's his land. No, he's his interpreter. That's right.
Yeah, he's like announcing like, this is what's going to happen, and then Han's like, you tell Jabba this, and
R2D2's running around with a waitress thing on his hat with drinks on it.
Yeah, and then Luke somehow is able to like communicate with R2, like, now I need my lightsaber, and Luke saves the day as always. And
spoiler, Jax goes right into the Sarlacc pit, and the credits rolled.
End of movie. Fastest movie over. Han
doesn't have his sight back yet.
No.
Because he's like, Boba, where? And he spins around and he knocks that guard down.
Yeah.
So
and
funny.
Then somehow Boba Fett falls and is eaten, and
no, Princess Leia chokes him out.
Or sorry, Boba Fett falls, and then Jabba is choked to death.
Han is so funny. Boba Fett, he's like, keeps saying their thing. He goes, he's like Jabba, Boba Fett. Sorry.
Harrison Ford did a great job pretending to be a blind man on, a thought out blind man.
Did you know that he only wanted to do the first movie? He didn't want to do any of the additional ones. He wanted to just do it. He thought it was going to be a one-off. That his character would just be one-off. But they convinced him to stay. So
I believe it.
Thank the Lord that he stayed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
finally,
they managed to destroy Jabba's thing, and
I loved it when she choked him out. I loved it when she choked him out with the chain. You know what I mean? He's just laying there with that giant tongue.
Yes.
Well, I know you like Princess Leia in that. I'm just saying, now she's really empowered, and I just thought that was a great way. No blasters, no explosions. She just choked
She just used what she had,
Okay.
So now they meet back up with the rebels, and Luke's like, peace out, I'm going back to Yoda.
That's right.
And we find out that Yoda is dying. And then we have the closure of, yes, Darth Vader is your dad. Get over it.
Right.
It sucks to be you, but like, he's your dad, nothing you can do about it. Like, it is what it is.
Oh, by the way, a question or something you said during Empire Strikes Back. I did not think Leo. I thought Leah just was force sensitive. I didn't know if she was a Jedi at the time, or not a
Yeah,
Jedi.
and
But
I don't think we learn that until we find out that she's Luke's sister, and that's how we like she
Right.
might not be like a Jedi Knight, but she's force sensitive because she's a Skywalker.
well, I think Luke trains her, right? Because I know she becomes a Jedi, a full-fledged
Mhm.
Jedi. So they don't address that till
Yeah, and so Yoda tells Luke, "Suck it up." Like, yeah, Darth Vader's your dad, and by the way, you have a sister, and it's Leia. And then that's when you're like, "Oh,
I love it.
I kissed her."
I love it. Andrea says it so matter of factly.
like, uh, it sucks. Like, yeah, the villain's your dad, but like life goes on.
Yep.
But that's like that's why he's got such a strong connection to Vader. I mean, Luke was probably thinking, "Oh, do I have a strong connection to the dark side?" And it's like, well, you do, but it's only because your dad is.
Didn't he say that was one of
Vader.
Luke's fears that could be
Mhm.
his undoing or something? His fear. I thought he mentioned something about that. That fear could be your downfall
Yeah.
due to the emotions involved. I forget. He didn't say it like that, but I thought he implied that. So he finishes Luke's training,
So he finishes Luke's training. Luke is now a Jedi Knight.
and Yoda becomes a figure like Obi-Wan, a ghost.
A figment of your imagination, if you will.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's Force Spirit tells Luke that he needs to go face Vader, and doing so will finish his training, and then he needs to defeat the Empire for once and for all.
Now Luke's a Jedi Master at this point. Yep. He's not just a Jedi. He's a Jedi. Okay.
He's a Jedi Knight.
Is he not a Master at that point?
I don't think he's a Master until like the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. He has to overcome his greatest fear, like you just said.
Yeah.
To truly be yeah, you're right.
So now we cut into their back with the Alliance. Again, this movie does a lot of we're going back and forth like Empire did. Now we're with the Alliance, and they learn that a second Death Star is being constructed.
Loved it. Loved that.
This By the way, Death Star.
Real quickly, we didn't have like the TV commercials and all that stuff as today. We had to get books like Fangoria or other movie publications. And when we first saw the new Death Star as kind of a spoiler, dude, we went crazy. 13 years old.
And sorry. I love that like it's not completed, and like part of me was like, oh, is that just like the old Death Star and they're just pretending it's new, but it's still like it's under construction,
Yeah,
like,
I don't. How do you hide that big of a project?
Right, because I mean, and I did say like in the trivia that the Death Star in this one is 460% times the size as it was in Empire.
Oh,
so it's massively bigger.
Oh, I honestly, Andrew, all this time, I thought they were building the exact same size.
Yeah, this one's significantly better.
Wow.
So this second Death Star,
the incomplete look was really awesome. I just wanted to agree with you there.
Yeah. And this Death Star, instead of being like under supervision of Vader, is under supervision from the Emperor, the pale man Voldemort wannabe.
Yeah, because some in the movies, the new one, somehow if you strike down somebody else with a lightsaber, you immediately are on the dark side in seconds. How that works, don't know.
So now they're trying to
get down. They couldn't get the shield. They have to go to the planet to get rid of the shield generator.
Yes, and they conveniently pass Vader's ship, and Luke just has a feeling, and he goes, Vader's on that ship, and Han's like, or any other ship, like it's not just that one, like he's completely throwing off Luke.
And then he goes, I'm jeopardizing the mission.
Yeah, because he's
Then the
like,
code goes through. Then the code.
and
went
then
through.
yeah, and then Vader's like, let them pass. I'll go after them on my own. He's like, leave them to me.
And Han Solo and them were expected to attack the Death Star once the shield generator was down. He was leading that strike group.
Because I remember, they asked like, well, whose team's going to do that? And Han's like, well, my team, but I don't have anybody. And then Chewbacca pitches in, and Han's like, well, I didn't want to speak for you. He's like, I can't speak for yourself. He's like, yeah, right. I know you're going to join me, but like, I can't speak for you. And then Leia's like, well, obviously, if you're going, I'm going. And then Luke's like, well, if you're going, I'm going. And then all of a sudden, they have their task force. So they get down to the forest of Endor so that they can turn off the shield generator in hopes to destroy the new Death Star. And it's funny because they don't use like their normal ship. They use an Imperial shuttle that they stole, which I thought was kind of genius. Like, yeah, you're trying to go undetected, so let's just use the Imperial ship.
And then when Darth Vader first arrives at the new one, he goes, the Emperor will not be as forgiving as I am. Because they were way behind schedule.
Yeah. Yes.
Project overruns, that happens in the railroad today.
So they get to, yes.
You know what I mean? Like $1 trillion has been set aside for the Death Star. Oh, we went over. It's now $2 trillion. I'm sorry, trying to make you laugh.
No, you're fine. So they go down to Endor and they see stormtroopers, and they have a new and improved look. And I like that the stormtroopers all have like different outfits.
Oh yeah, 100% agree with you, Andrea. That was a great change.
And Han's like, oh, there's just 2 of them. I've got this. And then Han being Han, he gets down there and steps on a freaking stick. Yeah, and they're like, let's go after them. And then, like, you guys got to remember, this movie was done in the 80s, and I'm just watching it laughing, and I go, oh my gosh, the CGI of this movie, like, you just can't, like, in today's day and age, you just can't help but laugh. But, like, then you think about it, it was the 80s. Like, this movie was
Andrea,
way ahead of its time.
Oh, I agree with you. The Force was the only thing real. You're right. And even though it's now on 13, even though it's 83 now, Andrew is right. Still, those special effects were kind of in their infancy. I mean, they look great at the time, but now she just watched it today.
Yeah.
It's dated.
Now you just can't sit and laugh, and you're just like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, we once thought that this was amazing, and now we watch it, and it's like, hey, it's so funny. Like, so they're on their little speed bikes chasing the stormtroopers down, and
Leia gets hit.
Again, like, these guys never have operated one of these before, but somehow Luke knows. Press the middle button, that'll jam their comms. Like, dude, how do you know this? Like, this is your first time, and then like, they're masters at everything. Like, the kid could just sit down. I know how this works,
Andrew's been doing that all night, John. It's freaking hysterical. We're like, how do you operate this? And just walk up to it.
Yeah, literally, like, Luke just comes aboard and he goes, quick, hit the center button, it'll jam their comms. Like, how does he know? He's never seen
the only thing we see him driving, right, is that land speeder. That's the only thing we ever see him drive ahead of the scenes with the TIE or the X-Wing.
Yeah.
That's so funny, Andrew. You're making me laugh at that tonight.
You should, Lou.
But then, what's good?
Yeah, and then Leia gets shot down, and she's injured.
Yes, she gets knocked out.
And then I'm probably going to jump a little bit. They
getting tired, people.
I am, and I'm sorry. Like,
no. I don't think
there's so much. It's like there's so much to talk about in this one because this one is my favorite. But they encounter the Ewoks shortly after.
Love the Ewoks.
The Ewoks are they're like little teddy bears. Like, you can't help but not love them.
I try to say that when they say "ooh daddy."
And then they eventually gain the trust of the Ewoks, and Luke has the heart-to-heart moment with Leia and breaks the news like, "Hey, you're my twin sister, and Darth Vader's our father, and it sucks to be us."
That's it. Oh, you skipped. All right, that's fine.
I know I'm skipping.
Well, Luke finally goes. Luke goes to find Darth Vader.
Yeah, he's captured.
So he's captured. The Lando's team almost crashes into the thing because they weren't getting a reading, and that happens up in space. And then finally, when the generator's blown up by them, they then go. He's taken to the Emperor, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, so Luke's taken to the Emperor. The Emperor uses his voodoo magic, and he's like, if I can't turn Luke to the dark side, then I'm just gonna electrocute the man.
Yeah, I know, because he's like because he realizes that his mind. Remember, he was able to block out that Leia was his sister, and he's like, I'll just go after her. I'll go after the. You know what I mean? He even mentions your sister. I'm not positive though.
Yeah.
And then the big confrontation.
The big confrontation, and then somehow he is able to block out the Leia's his sister, but leads them straight into where the rebel fleet are located. So Han and Fam get captured, but the
that
Ewoks,
was so funny. Just fully operational battle station.
Yeah, and I like how and then like don't the stormtroopers like just casually sneak up on them too? Like, how did they not hear them coming?
Because they're stormtroopers. And that's, like you said earlier in the night, stormtroopers can't see shit.
Yeah, I mean, you would think with their new and improved uniforms that they'd be able to see, but
you would think,
So the Ewoks come and help. They launch a cute little counterattack, and
generator.
Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. I don't know if that's any time, but that's all I remember from him.
Well, that's what the Family Guy episode. Remember, it was called that. It's a trap.
He's with Lando, and they're headed to go destroy the Death Star when they find out that the shield's still active and there's a whole Imperial fleet just ready for them.
Because they questioned, like, why aren't they attacking us? And then a blast comes from the Death Star, and Luke's like, what? And he goes, it's fully operational battle station. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
It's not fully operational.
They're fully operational and orders the firing of the super laser.
I know what's funny about that, right? Oh, fully operational. You're missing half of your planet thing, and and you had to put by the teddy bears. You had to go put a shield generator. So what? It's not ready to go.
The Emperor is hoping like firing and destroying the ship is going to anger Luke and make Luke give in and join the dark side, but instead Luke's like, I'm a fight the Emperor.
The anger. I know, he gets so mad.
And then Vader's like, nah, we're gonna fight instead.
Yeah.
And then somehow Vader manages to get into Luke's head and finds out that Luke has a sister.
Yeah.
And then if Luke doesn't turn to the dark side, then he'll get Leia to turn to the dark side. And then
we'll just strike the Emperor down. And then the Emperor's like, well, strike your father down and join me on my side.
And then in that, Luke defeats Vader and again severs his prosthetic hand.
Prosthetic hands are in right now.
Especially Luke's.
And then
so now that Vader's essentially defeated, the Emperor's like, well, now you have to take Vader's place. Like, you have to be the next Vader.
He wouldn't kill his father.
And then again, it's the Voldemort flick of the wand. I'm gonna fry you with my lightning.
I know, force lightning. Ah.
And Vader somehow is still alive and manages to betray the Emperor. And the last we see of the Emperor is he's falling to his death down a reactor shaft.
Yes. And Andrew and I will get to that part of it when we go over the 3 new movies as to what goes down. So we don't want to ruin it for anybody. We haven't told you that many spoilers other than the I'm your father thing. So.
And then you have the first father-son moment that Vader is allowed to have, because now he's not feeling the darkness. He's able to, I want to see my son, take my helmet off, let my son see my face, and then you just see this pale old man. And
yeah, and we're reminded in all these movies that the Sith can bring people back to life, except for themselves. So,
yeah. Yes. And
is that actor? No, wait, Andrew. Was that actor? Did they keep him for that scene? Because I know they replaced him with Hayden Christensen. No, that was Obi-Wan.
I think they kept the original actor, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to think of that though. Did he?
I know in
No, at the end of the new ones, Anakin Skywalker, he's Hayden Christensen's there as his ghost.
Yeah.
Because I think that used to be the actor that was actually in the suit at one time.
That was the
right?
ghost. And then
that was the original one.
When 1, 2, and 3 came out, they're like, oh, why don't we make Vader's ghost actually look like Vader?
Yeah, you're right.
So then Vader dies, and such is life. Luke keeps losing his family, so now Leia's the only family he's got.
And once again, Luke still has to go solve more problems because the Rebel fleet didn't complete their mission.
Yeah, so now Luke's got to go back, and they finally destroyed the shield generator, and Lando's able to then lead the strike force into the core of the Death Star.
Wasn't Luke with him or no? For some reason I thought he was, but I think he's not now the more I think about it.
That I don't remember all of a sudden. I don't think Luke was with Lando.
No, Lando I think fires the killer shot. Yeah, then they escape. They come flying through the Death Star. The fully operational.
It's
fully
Lando,
operational.
Yeah, because it was Lando and another X-wing pilot.
That guy destroyed. That little guy that was with him. I forget. It's the creature next to Lando in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, and they destroyed the Death Star, and then somehow they escape before it just implodes. I mean, it's going to destroy everything in its wake.
Exactly. And the fully operational battle station has like a gaping huge hole in it, so you can just kind of leave.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to worry about, there's no way out. Like
Ewoks already spanked their ass down the planet, so you're fully operational battle. So you got people in bathrooms and stuff. Man, I'm sorry, making a joke. The other half would have like incomplete toilets and all that.
And then we're getting like to the end of the movie now. Leia has a tender moment with Han and says, "Hey, Luke's my brother."
Yes.
And
he looks all defeated at first.
I was like, yeah, because like you can just see the relief on Han's face. Like, thank God I don't have to share this woman with Luke anymore.
I do love him. He's my brother.
Yeah, like I love him, but he's my brother. So
I loved all of her hairstyles. I know they make fun of the first movie for having those like earphone looking things like I have. But I just want to say I loved it when she let all of her hair down. Her long hair, I thought it was cool looking. Sorry. Nitpicky.
No, you're fine.
I love it.
And then Luke, has another like his final moments with Vader, and he's burning the body and the armor.
Yep. Then all the ghosts appear.
And then all the ghosts of Luke's past appear.
Obi, Yoda, Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, and they have kind of like this party celebration with the Ewoks, and
it's on the soundtrack. Have you ever heard that song on the soundtrack? It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They play it the last. I love all the music of Star Wars. So
I do too. It's quite memorable, as we talked about in the very beginning of this podcast, was how memorable the music is. And
so good. And it continued when the prequels started coming out. Duel of Fates, an absolute phenomenal piece of work. So, well, everybody, that about wraps it up, right, Andrea?
Yeah, and that is 4, 5, and 6 retrospectively. Next month we'll schedule another Friday where we dive into 1, 2, and 3, which I will never understand why they didn't just call episode 4 episode 1. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, it used to be called Star Wars. There was no New Hope at first.
Yeah.
So they added that to the title, which I didn't really care about, but all right. But you're right. You would think 4, 5, and 6 would be 1, 2, 3, and those would be 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first 3, and then you would go. You know, I understand what you're trying to say. Anyway, sorry. Got you. Everybody, Rogue One is the shit. Remember, everybody.
Don't forget when. I mean, we're gonna have to do just one night of Rogue One, I feel.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of those last 3 movies, but adding Solo, that one we really. I mean, we can go over it, but you're right. Rogue One is phenomenal. It's going to take a while to go over that one. You might be right about that last one. I agree. Lots to talk about.
And
phenomenal.
Hopefully, John will have seen some of them, if not all of them.
Did you see? Hey, real quick, Angie. Did you know Mark Hamill? That's his favorite film. He doesn't like the ones 7, 8, and 9. He goes, Rogue One's my favorite.
Really?
I was dying. Yeah, you can look it up. He said in an interview, he goes, "That's the one I would watch."
I believe that Rogue One was just something else. Like, it was just perfection. You know, it's like
it's perfect.
You go so long without a Star Wars movie, and then they're like, "Here's Rogue One," and it was brilliant.
I love it because you can it literally seamlessly transitions into 4, like
exactly. Like it just
good that way.
Yeah.
And I like another thing. All the characters are killed off. That way we don't have to see them. That story's characters are gone. They don't show up in another movie. So.
Right.
But I did like it. I like how it showed everything. It was awesome. I like that planet too.
Do you think that they'll make any more, or do you think Star Wars is like wrapped up and done? Like, I know that they've made like another.
Well, even Solo did $1 million. I mean, did a lot of money. I mean, it did, but Solo was a letdown. I think, and after Rogue One, Solo really they kept comparing to that movie, and Rogue One was just too good. Solo never had a chance if you compare it to that.
Right. And that's where I think it sort of tanked in a way. Is like you had this great expectation out of Rogue One, and then they're like, well, let's make Solo, and then Solo kind of tanked, and then.
Well, what I hear now is going on. They're going to worry about Disney Plus, all those things they got started. In my opinion, everybody, I'm sorry, they've started way too many Star Wars series. Yeah, Mandalorian, then you have Boba Fett, then you have, I mean, there's like all these different. Well, I'm like, why are we? I think that's too many shows, but all right, I don't know. Do you agree with that, anybody? I mean, do you think
I do agree. I only watched the first season of The Mandalorian.
What?
I haven't seen any of the other series that they've made.
Mandalorian is awesome.
The first season was really good, and I remember we weren't going to watch it because we were waiting for the second season to come out, and then we watched the first season, and then I think we just kind of forgot about it.
We can come back another time and do the TV shows, like way in the future. But I mean, we can always come back to those. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All those different series are happening.
And that's the great thing about Star Wars. Like, there's so much to it that we're able to have different movie discussions, or we can dive into the TV series, we can dive into the animated movies and series. And
well, one thing you did say, Andrea, I know they want to do a 10, 11, 12, but that was the end of the Skywalker stuff. But I don't think those are even in production or have a script yet. I don't think that's on the ground floor. Like,
I'm curious what the storyline would even be for those ones, because I feel like they did a great job wrapping up. Like, this is the end of Skywalker.
Yeah, that's why at the end. Yeah, never mind. We won't spoil it for people, but I'm just saying. It really shouldn't be. It's going to be called, unfortunately, 10, 11, and 12 because they should not add them. Those 3 are going to be nothing to do with the sky. I mean, I don't know, make a new series starting 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I wouldn't continue. Well, this is what happened in the past. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know.
Or just it's a Star Wars story. Episode 1, like start over.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
Because it's like they did a really good job. I mean, we won't talk about the newer movies, but like they did a good job with 1 through 9, where it wrapped the story up very well.
It did. I mean, Mandalorian begins after the last Death Star. That's still going on. Like, that series shows you what happens between Return of the Jedi. Wait. Wait, what was I going to say? Oh, so Mandalorian takes time in the space between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Mhm.
And that time period is cool. So, I would like to see more of that maybe, or if they're going to cover it in the show, I don't know. I'd like to know more about that in between with Snoke and all that happened afterwards.
Yeah.
So I would, at least. That's my thing.
And before we wrap up tonight's show, if you were to be a pilot, which ship would you want to fly?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let me think.
I think I would do a TIE fighter just because they're smaller. They look a little bit more easier to fly.
I love the way that Darth Vader's TIE fighter looks. It's awesome with the wings that like come down like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think though. What would I like the most? Tell you one ship I never drive. The Y-wing looks dumb.
Yes.
You got to see that thing when they have the G squad. I got to get you this funny stuff that they have. No, it was the O. It was O squadron, and all they go is in a circle.
Oh my gosh.
So funny. Anyways, it's funny. No, Andrew, another thing you got to watch. I think it's Robot Chicken that did it. They talk about, wait a minute, why is it over? We have millions of planets under control. We still have 1 million ships and soldiers. It's like, why is it over? And the guy's like, well, they killed the Emperor this time. So kind of, I'm like, what? Dude, that's true. They had a ton of army. Still had a mega army.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, Andrew. I didn't answer your question. I guess I could drive around the Death Star.
I could see that. You're like, oh, I'm getting tired. I'm going to let's reload. I wonder though, could the Death Star relocate? Like if it really wanted to, be like,
it has light speed capability.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? You're just like, I'm bored of the scenery.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. It's funny though because it's like I with my luck with cars, I'd probably be driving around in the fully operational battle station. What happened to that one? Oh, it got rear-ended. So, no, I fell off.
Be like, I thought I pressed hyperspeed and so we ended up colliding. It was a big deal.
Can you imagine the mechanic unions on the Death Star trying to finish it? We're so far behind.
But yeah, the Emperor comes up and said, why isn't this done? Well, Mike keeps running into planets.
Could you imagine that they have a show about how all the widows file a lawsuit against the Empire? Okay, anyways, I'll stop it. It's been a long. Well, everybody, I had a lot of fun. Andrea is the key to this thing. So
you helped this show tonight. I mean, having just recently watched them, but like I said, I was busy working, so my facts weren't all correct. So I appreciate that you knew what you were doing. And
well, I appreciate letting me do that. But you're tired. You had a long day. You had kids. I understand totally.
I'm gonna sleep until my kids are gonna be up early. It's funny because like I always joke that I'm gonna sleep in on the weekends, and my kids are still up at the crack of dawn.
I don't know if I want to ask this on the broadcast. Your kids' ages. I think I'll save that for a private message.
All right.
The least about minors people know.
Well, thank you everybody for joining in tonight. It's been fun and.
Look down there, Andrea. Wait a minute.
I won't be here next Friday night, movie night. John, Mike, and Sam, if he's here, will have to do the show without me, but they've got a great show planned. And
Matrix, I believe, right, Mike?
Which one?
The Matrix?
Yeah, I think it's the Matrix.
I think it was. And I'm hoping I'll be to my destination early enough that I can at least view in, but I'm not sure what time I'm expected to make it to.
I wanted to watch Pearl of or the Pets one. Ants. I want to go for Ants.
Oh, gee. Well,
no,
I think after Matrix, we're doing 2 weeks at Disney too. So
Disney. We can't cover Star Wars in Disney though. That's separate.
Nope,
we can't rehash that. Andrew and I have plans.
And we'll make sure when we do Disney, Sam knows that Star Wars is off the table.
Have we done? I don't think have we done anything to do with the animation at all? We just did the trivia, right? Just the trivia.
Yeah.
So you could break that up too in segments throughout the years as Disney evolved. That's my
Mhm.
suggestion. Just a suggestion.
Well, Disney's a popular subject though, and a lot of people. So
So everybody, no, all right, go ahead, John.
no, I was just gonna say I want to give Mike and Andrea a hell of a lot of credit. I think they did a great job without me. I'm officially fired
There's
from
my
Friday Night
finger.
Movie Night.
Now I'm pointing to the right person.
I'm no longer needed. If you need me, you can find me on Monday and Tuesdays. But I think I'm stepping down from Friday, and these two are going to take over.
No, John, we want you. It's Sam we're trying to get rid of. Just kidding, Sam. Totally joke, not serious.
He doesn't watch anyway. He doesn't like us.
Well, John, thanks for letting us have a host. To my absolutely amazing co-host tonight, it was awesome.
Yeah,
so.
thank you for trusting us.
Now,
Yes.
when my page get banned, who do I blame though? Andrea or Mike?
You
Sam.
get ad warnings from Facebook.
Yeah, I'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Yeah.
No, well,
All right.
I want to get the gist of it before I put it live on the show. So, but
Oh no, that's fine. I got to run the final one, right? Let's see.
yep.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Do I have to do anything special, John, or just hit show?
Hit exit, and then when you want, end the broadcast.
We hit exit. I don't know what you mean.
Russo will play Sam, by the way, so we have another host.
What do I do? Wait, I see
got
the
it.
banner. All right, thanks, man.
Just say goodnight.
Night, everybody.